And good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Fox Sports The Game, 910-1310. We are live this morning at the Event Center, the bottling plant, in downtown Opelika for our high school media days presented by the Orthopedic Clinic. We're glad to have all our media here today. Thank everyone that's present here today to see all these wonderful coaches and players from our area. I think we got almost 20 teams in the next 2 days that will be here on display with some of their players. A lot of them are seniors that'll be here, and we appreciate having this event. We couldn't have it without our sponsor, the Orthopedic Clinic, and certainly the Event Center. So we started this about 4 years ago, I think. This is number 4 for us, and Van and I had one of our good friends in the coaching business talk to us about this, and we said, why not? We've got a big enough area, and we've got a lot of interest in high school football. My morning shows around high school sports, so we started it 4 years ago, and here we are today, and we're proud to say that we've made it better each year, and certainly we appreciate every school that makes this event possible. We're on display the next 2 days. We'll have Chambers Academy, Valley High School, Lafayette, Lee Scott Academy, Lynette High School, Beauregard High School, Springwood, Beulah, Glenwood, and Auburn. That's today's lineup. Tomorrow, we'll start off with Roddy Beck from the AHSAA. Then we'll have Smith Station, Reeltown, Russell County, Notasulga, Lochapoka, Benjamin Russell, Southern Prep, Dadeville, a brand new school to our media days, the Oak School, and we'll close it out with Opelika High School. So 2 days of great high school football teams and coaches and players that'll be here. And I'm delighted to start our media days off with the executive director of the Alabama High School Athletic Association. Many of you know that Coach Steve Savarese was at the helm, I think, 14 years, Alvin, would that be right? Some 14 years. Coach Washburn was ahead of him, and I'm pleased that Coach Savarese's right-hand man, Alvin Briggs, was named the executive director. He took over officially in July. Alvin is a good friend. Alvin played football at Auburn University, and I've got to know him very well through our Super 7, helping here as a co-chair with Mayor Anders. And it is my pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to introduce the executive director of the Alabama High School Athletic Association, Mr. Alvin Briggs. Thank you, Alvin.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here. It's always a pleasure to be in Opelika, the Auburn area, to be over here to start the school year as we get ready for fall practice. It's an exciting time because this time last year we all were in a quandary about what the school year was going to look like, what the football season, what volleyball season, what cross country, what all our sports was going to look like. There was some little thing they call a pandemic that is still going on, and so we are excited to be here and excited to be forging ahead for all our member schools. We at the association just completed our summer conference last week, where we had with student athletes, coaches, administrators come through Montgomery during a 5-day period. We had close to 5,000 people come through for those 5 days, and it was an exciting time. A lot of professional development was taken during that time, a lot of all-star games during last week, and it was just a great pleasure to see all our membership out and ready to go full force, ready to get on with the sports season. For most of our schools this week that didn't have a spring practice, we have some football teams that started fall camp this week. We had a bylaw passed a couple of years ago. If they didn't have a spring practice, they could start a week early, and we have several schools that started this week, and they're going full force. But our full fall season for all our sports will start on Monday as we go full force, and then soon after that, our schools will start. We're excited about the year. We're excited about what our membership has done for their school communities and their communities surrounding them. So that's what we're all excited about, and at this time, I'll take any questions.
Mr. Briggs, Jack Patterson from WRBL. You have the new you have the football state championships heading to the new UAB stadium coming up this winter. How, what does that say about, the continual expansion of the AHSAA expanding into different markets and bringing the state championships back to Birmingham?
Well, I think it's exciting. First, you have to give credit to the two cities of Auburn and Opelika and also in Tuscaloosa for willing to expand. They had a stringhold on what we were doing, and everybody was excited. And to continue the excitement, both of these communities decided to open it up and give the city of Birmingham and UAB a part of the excitement. I think it speaks volume for those communities first. And then it's always great for our student athletes to be able to expand and be able to go to a different venue. It gives them a chance to see other cities. It's an exciting time. I mean, a lot of these students and a lot of these communities would never get a chance to step foot in either stadium. And it gives them a chance to step foot in those stadiums. And D-Mark can tell you from personal experience, it'll make you cry when you see those students come through there and they're in awe of seeing what they see on TV, and they're crying and the coaches are crying, and it's a very emotional. And it has nothing to do with wins and losses. It has to do with the fact that they have a chance to be in a venue you've never been in before and probably never have a chance to do it. And for those events, whether it's football, whether it's volleyball, whether it's basketball or baseball, we want to make sure it's an experience of a lifetime. So with that, we always asked our communities to come spend the night in another community before those championships to get the whole experience. In Auburn and with D-Mark, they take them around historical places. They do things with them so they can experience the whole holistic of a championship. In Tuscaloosa, they go see the Bryant Museum. They've already got it set up for the schools to go see the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame. I mean, and the different things in Birmingham. I mean, so it's an experience. It's not just we get off the bus and go play a football game. It's an experience. It's a holistic experience for our student athletes.
Hey, Alvin, Jordan Hill with Opelika Auburn News. I wanted to ask, we've seen COVID hospitalizations starting to go up. Do you foresee the association making any kind of adjustments to the fall season, or is it going to be a matter of turning that over to the school districts as well as ADPH?
We're going to continue to do what the recommendation of the governor and state health director will follow those guidelines, and we're going to continue to do our recommendations. If our schools do what they've done in the past, this past school year, and follow all those recommendations, do all those guidelines, I think we can continue to be safe. We got to do all the other things we need to do too. That's on our communities, and I think they'll do the right thing. For all the other things that those will be a day-to-day recommendation by the state health director and the governor and Department of Education. And right now, everybody's ready to go back to school. Everybody's ready to do all those things, and I think we will all do the things we need to do to protect ourselves. Just like you sitting there with your mask on. I mean, that's what we'll continue to do. We'll continue to do those things.
Hey, Alvin, if you don't mind, would you explain the acclimation period for practice? We've had that discussion this morning. Would you go over that for our teams in football?
Which
as far as when they can go in pads and things like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Our acclimation period, really what our student athletes do all year is really what they're doing for acclimation. But our acclimation period, the first 2 days of practice, our student athletes in the sport of football have to wear a helmet. The next 2 days, they will wear shoulder pads before they get in full pads, which is the 5th day. But what our student athletes do all summer long, what they do all year long, is preparing them to get started for fall practice. In every sport, we just sent out recommendations about heat because as of this week, this is the hottest part of the summer. We've had cool summer all summer, had lots of rain and fall practice starts, that's when you know football and volleyball and cross country is getting ready to start because they start heating up. And we're going to have record heats this week and next week. I hope I answered that question for you, D-Mark. All right.
Mr. Briggs, so you've been on the job for about a month now. This is kind of a two-part question. First off, kind of what's been the biggest challenge you've had so far? And then secondly, what things that you've learned from being under Coach Savarese for so long that you've kind of taken over to the new job?
Well, the most difficult part is D-Mark's been wanting me every other day on his show. So I don't know if he can't get anybody else or if he's trying to put me through the ringer. But no, you know, it's been okay. You know, as a lot I can, you know, that I will take and have taken from Coach Savarese. He was the consummate teacher. He was always teaching. He's always teaching. He still will be a teacher. I mean, that's what he prided himself on, is teaching. And, you know, so that's going to be a part of what we continue to do. And when we continue to do that, we'll continue to take the AHSAA to a different level. I mean, that's what it's all about, and continue to give our member schools the chance to have events of a lifetime.
Hey, Alvin, I wanted to ask about girls flag football coming in. Just what have you heard as far as the reception from the various member schools, and what you think as far as what kind of learning experience this can be going into the first season of it?
You know, flag has been really accepted, really good in here. Auburn High School and Opelika High School both have declared the girls flag. We've had about 60 schools that are interested, and they're in the process of getting schedules and doing those things to start playing this fall. And what we will have everyone can kind of set their own schedule. It's going to be all one big group when it finals, and then at the end of the season, after about 8 games, when we get ready to start the tackle football playoffs, we will start a tournament format for girls flag, culminating in a tournament championship in Birmingham at the Super 7. We will have our unified football game. We will have the girls flag football game, and then of course our 7A game that Wednesday there in Birmingham in Protective Stadium.
Coach Booth just recently joined your staff. What will be her position there and her duties?
Coach Booth will be half-time with the Coach Association, half with the Alabama High School Athletic Association. She will be in charge of special programs, but Coach Booth brings expertise in basketball. So her and Jamie Lee, another assistant director, will both be in charge of basketball. Coach Booth will also have some other sport responsibilities, softball, volleyball, and you know, so she will be in charge of special programs. She just brings a wealth of talent and knowledge, being a championship coach, being a Final Four coach. You know, how many times are you going to get a Final Four coach that's been to the Final Four 4 out of the last 6 years? Quietly, nobody, I mean, if I hadn't have told you that, many of you wouldn't have known that. But she's done a great job coaching at Opelika, you know, very instructional, and you know, that's the kind of leadership we want at the Alabama High School Athletic Association.
I want to ask, kind of going back to COVID, last year you guys on the football side made some adjustments, extended the sidelines, longer timeouts. Are any of those going to be in play going into this year?
No, they won't be in play. Everyone from every level, from the NFL, college, and high school, are going back to the standard size. Only difference is the college did expand theirs to the 25, where they were a little short, and now they're the 25 and maybe the 20. I think it's the 20, not 25. But everybody, I mean, is going back to normal. Even the SEC said they wouldn't reschedule anything. Commissioner Sankey said that everybody should know what they're doing, how to do it, and it's the school's responsibility to make sure that, you know, all games are played. If they're not played, they have to forfeit, and that's a loss. So those, you know, everybody is looking to forge forward in you know, this next school year.
Mr. Briggs, Rex Castillo with WRBL News 3. As you mentioned, things are starting to go back to more of a normal situation with sidelines and procedures and stuff like that. From the leadership standpoint, I know the challenges with last year to make a football season happen was tremendous. What's it like to see things kind of go back to normal this season?
You know, we're still in the process of going back to normal. We're not completely there yet, but we're just going to continue to follow the guidelines of the governor and state health director and, and Dr. Mackey, the state superintendent. It's always a challenge going into a year, the unknown, where you are and where you want to be. But it's all, in the hands of our memberships and in the hands of, the school personnel.
Once again, congratulations on your promotion, and thank you for being here this morning, and Coach Briggs.
Thank you.
All right, Jeff, that was Coach Alvin Briggs, the Executive Director of the Alabama High School Athletic Association, leading off our media days, as Coach Steve Salvarese has done for the last 3 years. We're glad to have Alvin here, and we're about to get ready to start our teams.
We are. I guess first up will be Chambers Academy.
Chambers Academy.
Coach Jason Allen.
Yes, sir. We're going to take a quick break right here on Fox Sports The Game. We'll come back. We'll have Jason Allen and the Chambers Academy Rebels live from the Event Center, High School Media Days, presented by the Orthopedic Clinic.
Tickets are Let freedom ring all month long at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Declare your independence from your old ride and upgrade to a nicer, newer Ford, Honda, or Nissan. We're giving you up to $3,500 in down payment assistance to get into the new vehicle you want. Interest rates are at historic lows. There's never been a better time to get more for your money. Plus, we've never paid more for your trade. Get a cash offer even if you don't buy from us. We'll pay you $1,000 more than any other written offer. Other dealers may be low on inventory, but at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga, we're stepping on the gas and loading up our lot. Come in today and celebrate the freedom of choice this month only at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Guaranteed credit approval may require money down. See dealer for details.
Let freedom ring.
Hot under the collar because your basement is full of water? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. Ox Foundation Solutions will come up with the right fix for you. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
What's your favorite high school sports memory? A late inning rally? A game-winning shot? A photo finish? Maybe it's a pep rally or a pregame ritual. Maybe it's the euphoria of a late-night bus ride home after a hard-fought win. Maybe it's having pizza with teammates after the game. Now, imagine if it never happened at all. School sports need your help. With budgets getting tighter, it's more than the games that are on the line. It's all the traditions, the community pride, the culture of your hometown high school. Plus, all those memories that are on the line, too. What can you do? It's simple. Buy a ticket when you can. Go to a game. Take the whole family. Let's do everything we can to keep those cherished school sports memories alive.
This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
Alvin Briggs being with us here at High School Football Media Days. And this is our 4th High School Football Media Days on Fox Sports 9, 10, 13, 10 a.m. The Game every year, presented to you by the Orthopedic Clinic. We certainly appreciate their support, and every year we've had High School Football Media Days. Every year Chambers Academy has kicked us off, and it will be no different this year. And quite the season last year for Chambers, 12-1, another state championship win, and Coach Allen entering his 9th year at Chambers Academy. Is that right? And quite a run he has had there, and I don't want to start quoting stats because I will mess something up because they're that good. So please welcome up Coach Jason Allen and Chambers Academy.
Thank you, Van. Thank you, D. Mark. Thank you to all our media, everybody that's covering today's event. Football in East Alabama is alive and well, and we play a really good brand of football on this side of the state, and I know our teams are really excited to share with you their players and coaches and the excitement for their program. As Van said, it's become tradition every year for us to kick this deal off. And like I've said every year, we don't mind going first at the beginning of the year as long as we can be first at the end. So we're very excited to bring our program before you today. We've had some really good teams. Of course, we're coming off a state championship season last year, one of the best seasons in school history for our school. And, you know, we're really humbled and honored to be here today. We've had a really good summer. Our kids worked hard. That's always the case for us. Our kids always show up, and they're eager to work and get better. And it's like I told them, you can't get better if you're not there, and they've always taken that to heart. And so our team is really excited about this year. We have the biggest senior class that we've had in a long time at CA. We'll have 20 senior football players on our team, which is really a testament to our program. We're very excited. Unfortunately, we've had some very devastating events happen to us this summer. We lost one of our own a couple of weeks ago in an ATV accident, and really that's kind of changed the direction of our team and our focus. And of course, he was really a well-liked young man that was going to play a big part on our football team this season. And it's been really tragic for our community and for our players. And it's been a time of deep reflection, and it's kind of changed our gears a little bit towards what motivates us in the game of football and in the game of life. And so we're really saddened, and we're going to continue to honor that young man this season. His name was Holden Messer, and he would have been a junior on our team, played outside linebacker and was big on our special teams last year in our state championship bid. So our prayers are continued to be with our team and that family, and we'll be doing a lot of things this year in honor of him. But we're really excited to be here. We think we got a chance to have a good football team again. We've built our program from the ground up. We really believe in what we do, and we're not going to change from that. We're not going to compromise. We have some non-negotiables in our program that we feel like have gotten us to where we are today. Our team, our seniors last year, probably finished off being, they were the winningest class in school history. Over the last 5 years, we've won 60 games and lost 5 and played for 6 state championships in a row. So that we've set the bar pretty high, and again, that's going to be the standard that we're looking to accomplish. We want to win a state championship. We want to go out in style with these 20 seniors. I brought 4 of them with me today. I wish I could bring all of them, but I know that's not doable. So I brought 4 young men, I think, that really represent our program in a class way. They're very humble. They're hardworking. They believe in the C and the A, and they come to work every day and have a great attitude. So if we have any questions, or if you want to talk to these young men, we'll be glad to let them come up today and talk about our program.
Jason, I want to start with you. When it comes to a title defense, you guys have done this before, but what have you seen from this group, knowing what the expectations have become there and how they've kind of matched it during the offseason?
Yeah, Jordan, each year is a different team. We got a lot of kids back and a lot of these seniors played huge roles on that championship team last year. But, you know, they're eager to leave their legacy. It's a new season. You got to put last year behind. And, you know, as great as it was, it's a new year. And we feel like, you know, there's going to be a target on our back. It has been a target on our back for a while now. And the kids understand that, and they want to go out their senior year as state champions as well as every senior, I'm sure, that's going to step up here the next 2 days. That's their goal. So motivation hasn't been a problem with these young men. Like I said, they show up and they're ready to work, and they're eager to leave their legacy at CA.
Coach Rex Castillo from WRBL, congratulations again, state champions. But to have this much experience, especially at a school your size, how much of a benefit is that as a coach to have 20 seniors on your roster?
Yeah, that's huge, Rex. And, you know, they say that you can't replace experience. And so we're going to lean on these guys a lot. We've got some really good players, really good skill players coming back that we're going to lean on early. We're going to try to get them the ball and let them do their thing. And so as a coach, that lets you sleep a little bit better at night, and knowing that you got such a large senior class.
Hey, Coach, Jack Patterson with WRBL. A couple years ago when we interviewed you before you won the first state title, you talked about making Chambers Academy small town famous. But now you've won 2 state championships. You've been in 6 straight state championships. What does it take to keep the kids buying in year after year after year?
Yeah, well, that's tough. That's you know, as a coach, that's one of the things that you kind of have to weigh. But, you know, we've always tried to keep that chip on our shoulder. We are from a small town. We're a small school. And we feel like that, you know, we've got a lot to prove still. Even though we played in 6 state championship games, we've only won 2. So there's always motivation there. And last year, our rally point was about our town again. I asked our coaches what they wanted us to be our motto this year, and they said, we don't know, but it needs to have town in it somewhere. Because the last 2 times we've had town in our motto, we've won state championship. But, you know, yeah, that. For me, this is home for me. So being at Chambers Academy, there's always a chip on my shoulder. We want to win every game we can, you know, so that our program is known. I think we've gotten to a program where we're known statewide for the quality of football that we play.
Hey, Coach. You know, it's going to be a big game for you against Lee Scott to open up the season, just because it's the going for 150 and first game after they renamed the field after you. Just can you talk a little bit about what it's going to be like for you?
Yeah, you know, it means a lot. I was honored that, and I was shocked that they decided to name the field after me, but I'm going to go with that and run with it because there's a lot of pride for me at Chambers Academy. And as far as career wins, you know, I feel like that's just really a culmination of a lot of great players and a lot of great coaches I've worked with, and I'm honored just to be able to win the next one, Cody. So for me, it's just going to be the next game, and I'll let you guys keep up with how many it is.
Jason, you mentioned losing Holden. What have you seen from your players and this entire team as far as just supporting each other through the last week or so?
Yeah, you know, this is new for me, Jordan. I have buried former players, but I've never buried a player that was a current player for me. And we've buried too many young men the last couple of years around our place. And it's been very humbling. It's been very priority changing. It makes you really understand what's the most important things in life, because we can get caught up in football, and so, you know, even though it's really huge for our community and our school, it's not the biggest thing. And our young men have done a lot of crying, a lot of soul searching the last couple of weeks, and you know, we've prayed a lot for each other and with each other, and you know, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna get tougher, because really he's only been gone a week, and it's almost like he just went on vacation, and we're waiting on him to come back. But the finality is that he's not. And so my job as the head coach is to hopefully we take this and we make a positive out of it any which way we can. We're going to honor him as much as we can. We got several things going throughout the year. But I tell you, the first thing for me is, and I told our young guys, you need to ask yourself the question, if that were you, what would happen to your soul? And we believe strongly in the power of prayer around CA, and we're going to keep going that way and in that direction. And so just really a tough time. We really hope you guys will pray for our program and our young men, because it's really a tragic thing to lose a young man the way we have.
And we're going to have some questions for the players.
Okay.
Actually, for any of the players who want to take it, you guys know what the expectation is. I mean, the history of this program is to go to state championship games and compete for a state title. How excited are you as a big senior class to try and continue that going?
Yeah, I'm very excited. Like I said, the next one is always important to me. We lost 8 seniors last year, and we lost a couple of young men that are really going to be tough to replace. We lost Player of the Year in the state of Alabama, and that's going to be really tough to replace in our quarterback, Peyton Allen. I think we lost one of the top defensive linemen and offensive linemen in the state in Jacob Oliver. So while we do have 20 seniors coming back, we do have to replace a couple of really important positions. And so, but, each year's a new year, and you turn the page. And I'm really excited. When you got 20 seniors, you can do a lot of different things from a standpoint of depth and being able to be versatile. So it'll be a different team. We'll move the ball different ways. We got a different quarterback, but it's a challenge, and I think that's part of being a coach is you figure out what your guys do best, and you try to accentuate those talents. So that's what we're going to try to do.
This is for John and T.Y. You guys are both moving into your second year as wide receivers. What's it kind of like for you getting that familiarity now?
Come up here. Can you repeat the question, Toby?
You guys are second-year wide receivers now. It's kind of like second year after playing only 1 year.
My second year, I'm gonna come through. I guess it's like my first year was last year coming up to the school, and it'll be my first year receiver. So now I'm more experienced, and I'm used to the calls and more of the plays, and the plays that we run toward me, and so I plan on coming in and doing what I do best. I got way more experience at the position now. Like my route running has increased, it's gotten better. My speed, my strength. I worked so hard all season to improve all my stats and stuff, so my stats will get better in the game.
Yeah, I just came in last year and felt like I fit right in. Like you said, it's easy to pick up on the calls and practice every day, and we got better at everything we do.
One's for Jordan and Wyatt. You guys, as Coach mentioned, some big names did leave the program, and it's going to require some people to step up and continue the tradition that Chambers has. How are you guys rising up to that challenge, and what do you think the rest of this roster can do this year?
We do have some big shoes to fill after all the seniors we lost last year, but it just takes practice, and we're going to work hard for it, make it up, try to be as good as we were last year.
It's like Wyatt said, we got some big shoes to fill. We're just going to look to get the ball to our playmakers and let them do what they do best.
Yeah, this one's also for Wyatt. You're the senior on the offensive line now. Can you just talk about what it's been like building the chemistry with the other guys?
Last year I was the only returning lineman this year. Everybody else was seniors, and it's been some, big steps trying to get everybody lined up, get all the plays learned and stuff. But we should be able to come back pretty strong. It just takes practice and time.
Coach Greer, would you come over and tell us what it's like to be at one of the premier private schools in the state of Alabama?
It's a good experience, y'all. I was at Beauregard for a good long time. I was at Lee Scott last year for a year, which I enjoyed a lot. I moved out to the small town area. Around that area, we bought some land and built a house out there, and thanks to Coach Allen, he gave me an opportunity to come out there and help. It makes it easier for me. I teach school in the elementary school in Georgia, and then I could leave elementary school and come over there and coach football like I've done most of my life. It's been exciting to see these young men, how they work hard, how they show up, how they encourage each other, how they know how to go through tragedies and work together in a tragedy to come out with a positive outcome. It's been amazing to watch these young men go about their business, and Coach Allen, the way he runs his program, he does a great job. I'm thankful. I didn't know exactly what to do when I moved out that far, a little bit further out of town than I was. And, but I'm so thankful I had this opportunity given to me, and I can't wait to see the results. I think we got an opportunity to be real good if we do the right things. Of course, you know, every Friday night, everybody else straps on the same way. And they come out there to do the same thing. And I'm thankful to be there, thankful to have the opportunity, and thankful to be standing here, and blessed beyond all things. So,
Coach Allen, one last question. This is the first year in a long time that there hadn't been an Allen on the suited up for you. How different is that going to be for you this year?
Yeah, life goes on, you know, but yeah, it's going to be tough. I've had some nephews or some cousins, and then of course my son Peyton graduated last year. So you know, that's tough for you, but you got to move on. And you know, it's great. I've learned in life to be thankful for the things you've had, the seasons in life. And how many guys get to say they coached their son the way I did the last 6 or 7 years, and to play for a state championship every year of his career, and end up him being player of the year, and just being a magnificent state championship game. So I'm thankful to God for that opportunity, and I'm gonna approach it from that way and count my blessings instead of think about what I'd like to have in the future. So it's going to be different. We built our program on a lot of those young men's backs, and so it's up to these guys to continue that legacy and to keep the CA way going.
Coach, one more. How many players do you have out this time?
We'll dress somewhere around 43 to 44 players this year in our program. So we're really excited about those numbers. Those are good numbers for us. We'll be deep. None of our offensive linemen will start as defensive linemen. We'll start fresh guys both ways, which is kind of huge for us. And we feel like we'll start really quality people on both sides of the ball.
Congratulations to Coach Allen and Chambers Academy on being defending state champions, and good luck this season. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you. God bless.
It's never too early to start looking to the future.
Let freedom ring all month long at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Declare your independence from your old ride and upgrade to a nicer, newer Ford, Honda, or Nissan. We're giving you up to $3,500 in down payment assistance to get into the new vehicle you want. Interest rates are at historic lows. There's never been a better time to get more for your money. Plus, we've never paid more for your trade. Get a cash offer even if you don't buy from us. We'll pay you $1,000 more than any other written offer. Other dealers may be low on inventory, but at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga, we're stepping on the gas and loading up our lot. Come in today and celebrate the freedom of choice this month only at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Guaranteed credit approval may require money down. See dealer for details.
Let freedom ring.
Hot under the collar because your basement is full of water? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. Ox Foundation Solutions will come up with the right fix for you. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Uneven floors got you rolling? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong. Get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Adam Hunter. Valley moved up to 6A last year, Eddie. Started out really strong, won 4 of their first 5. Of course, one of the wins was due to COVID protocol. They lost out into the season 4-5, and we'll have Coach Adam Hunter in Valley High School now.
Yeah, that was tough for them moving up to 6A last year.
It was.
All right, welcome back, High School Media Days here at the Event Center, presented by the Orthopedic Clinic. I do want to, before we get going here, I want to thank Coach Doug Barfield, our special guest in the house. Coach, thank you for being here. Coach Barfield is on our show, On the Mark, once a week. I forgot to tell him we were here today, but he did make it. So, Coach, thanks for being here. It's good to see you. I know you have a lot of high school background and college background, but we appreciate everybody here. We got another great school up, the Valley Rams. I got Coach Adam Hunter. A year ago, Coach Hunter, it seemed like it just jumped into the head job. As he told me up here, things are a little bit more calmer. I bring to the podium the head coach of the Valley Rams, Adam Hunter. Good job, Coach.
Good morning. I just want to start by saying thank you to all the people that put this together, man. It's an unbelievable experience to bring these guys up here and you know, represent our community, talk about our kids, get our kids' names out there. So thanks to everybody that put this together. Like D-Mark said, you know, last year I got the job in June after Coach Daniel retired, and you know, kind of hit the ground running because we had, you know, no other choice. But this year, you know, being a year in, you get to slow down a little bit, evaluate what you did last year and make that better. And then that's what these guys up here have done. You know, we've got a small senior class, but we've got a lot of leadership. We've got kids that took a lot of snaps last year for us that are in that underclassman role. So, you know, we're expecting big things out of those individuals this year. And these guys up here set the tone for practice, workouts, and that's why I brought them up here. And I'm going to introduce them real quick. We got Kalen Sherrill. He's our running back. He'll play DB on defense as well. He's a senior. We've got Kenneth Stevens. He's outside linebacker. He'll play a little bit of running back, a little bit of receiver as well for us. He's a junior. And then we got Ramel Jackson here. He's a senior. He'll play outside receiver and some safety for us. You know, and when I got this thing, you know, I just wanted to build off what had happened in the past. You know, we tried to create an atmosphere that was very physical. You know, we talk to our guys, me and the coaches, we talk to them every day about being physical and winning each day. And that's what's important for us. We're going to be one of those smallest 6A schools competing in that 6A. You know, you look at 6A in East Alabama, Central East Alabama, you know, it's the top. You know, you're going to play week in and week out. You're going to have a Division I athlete you have to play against. And we're, you know, not as big as some of those schools, but what we can do is make up for it in physicality, and that's what we preach. We make our practices very physical. You know, the weight room, the conditioning this summer has been, you know, very, very physical. You know, we get after it, and that's what we're trying to instill in these kids. We want to look at this as a learning tool here and set that standard high and teach these kids and these young men, to be great role models and to be tough individuals, because life, it's not going to give you, lemons every day to make lemonade. It's you got to earn it. And these guys definitely do that. We're proud of our kids as a coaching staff. Our kids have really bought into it. This is my 14th, going into my 15th year at Valley. And one of the things that always stuck out with me when I got the job, 14 years ago, was the tradition of hard-nosed football that Valley has always brought to the table. And we're getting that back. Over the past 3 years, we've really, improved in that area. And it's just a testament to our kids buying in. That's the main thing. They've really worked hard at getting that mindset every day that's what it's going to take to compete at this level. We want to compete and be there in the fourth quarter and have a chance to win it. And the only way we do that is by being physical. We have a motto: we want to win every day. We look at it as if, what did we do today to get better than the last day? And we take it day by day. And that's kind of how we take the season. We don't look ahead. We're going to look to that first opponent, and we're going to focus on that first opponent. We'll focus on the second one after that. Of course, we got Beauregard on the road, the first one, and then we get Lynette home. So it's going to be those first two big games for us is going to be a telltale of how our season can go. We're very physical on defense. We preach that fast. And offense, we're going to mix it up a little bit. We want to be, a little downhill running, gap scheme offense that can stretch the field a little bit as well. So we're going to do the best we can and compete every day. These kids, like I said, have been tremendous. We've had great show up for the off-season workouts. We've had kids, all of our starters especially, have not missed a day. They've been there every day. It's a grind, and we continue doing that. And we're going to continue doing that right up to our first fall practice on Monday. It tells a lot when you've got 8 seniors and you feel comfortable with where you're at. Last summer, we kind of were at a stalemate to what we could do as far as, did we want to kind of break it off due to the COVID regulations to where we wanted to focus on getting stronger, or if we wanted to focus on our football aspect of it. And we kind of bought into getting real strong, or trying to get real strong and physical in the off-season. Well, this season, off-season, we've been able to do both. And I think that put us ahead of the curve of where we were last year. So as a head coach, that's really helped us, or helped me, I should say. You could take a break, reevaluate, and look at it, and then you can grow on that. So we feel good going into fall camp of having everything installed almost of what we want to do. We'll fine-tune, add some stuff as we go in the fall, but we're way ahead of the curve where we were last year. All right, at this time, I'll take any questions.
Hey, Coach Hunter, Jack Harrison with WRBL out of Columbus. When we talked to you last year, obviously you guys had a pretty good season that, got cut short. What lessons have you learned from the way you guys played last year that you've taken over to this year?
Well, we did have an instance where we had a positive case on the team. It kind of cost us in some key positions. And we knew going into the season that it was going to be a situation to where, if we had some key players out, it was going to be really tough for us to play because we didn't want to put our young guys in that situation. So we did end up having to forfeit 2 games due to it. But, the other 7 games we played, we could take a lot from what we did. I thought we competed very well. There was, you look back at the U-Fall and the Robbery League game, and I think our eyes were opened a little bit, to 6A football at that level. Other than that, we beat Sidley in the air. We go into Carver game, and we got down a little bit, but yet my guys fought back in the second half. We came back and, had an opportunity to kind of win that game if we didn't make some mistakes. And that's what we're trying to build off of. That's what we want to teach these guys, that, hard work, being physical, it doesn't matter which size you are, how strong you are. It matters what's in your heart and how mentally tough you are. So that's what we're building off from last year.
This is for Kalen. Valley's always been known for their running backs, and what's it kind of like for you stepping into that role as a senior?
As in stepping as a senior, as in playing running back, it's a big role. It's a big role, because everybody doesn't get the chance to, have that, not the fame, but not the attention, but as in the respect. The respect goes a long way in life. And I'm not really about the attention and the fame, but I really just want to be different and be about my community.
Hey, question for Adam. You kind of hit on this when you were sort of talking before they started taking questions, but just how different has this offseason been for you going into year 2 because things are a little bit more opened up, and how much progress do you think they've made compared to last year? Like you said, you got hired in June, and we're kind of playing catch up. Just how different has this offseason been, being able to kind of work with the guys a little bit more?
Well, you get your guys all year. That's big. You get to have a spring. We did evaluation period in spring, which we needed. We needed to put some kids in different positions, see where they fit in to the role that we wanted to portray for our team. So, getting them the whole year is big. Not having to rush into the off-season program in June was big. You get to plan what you want to install this day, what you want to work on in the summer, to where you get, when fall camp gets here, you're not behind the 8 ball. And that's the biggest, takeaway I can say from not having all the guidelines and recommendations versus not getting the job in June and having it the whole year.
Hey, Coach. Oh, actually, this is for Romel and Kenneth. This is Rex Castillo from WRBL. Kind of piggybacking off that question, what's it like to have that little bit more time with Coach and knowing his system versus rushing through it like y'all did last year? Was it able to get his concepts a little bit better? Do you feel more comfortable with what Coach wants and your expectations for this year?
I feel like my coach, he stepped up in a big role in my career. He came in fast. It was off the off ball and everything, made things happen. He felt comfortable. We all felt comfortable. He worked with us. We all got big, stronger, condition-wise. He gave me the role to play. I feel amazing playing that role where it's either where the running game's not working so well, either throw the ball up or starting long. I'm that guy you can count on.
Any other questions? Oh.
Well, for real, he helped us in a lot. He taught us a lot of things to have to work as a team and just be a brotherhood and just get better for real. It's just a lot he did. He changed part of our team for real. That's it.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck in the coming season. Valley High School.
Thank you, guys.
Remember the saying, if you love something, set it free. If it doesn't come back, it was never yours to begin with.
Let freedom ring all month long at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Declare your independence from your old ride and upgrade to a nicer, newer Ford, Honda, or Nissan. We're giving you up to $3,500 in down payment assistance to get into the new vehicle you want. Interest rates are at historic lows. There's never been a better time to get more for your money. Plus, we've never paid more for your trade. Get a cash offer even if you don't buy from us. We'll pay you $1,000 more than any other written offer. Other dealers may be low on inventory, but at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga, we're stepping on the gas and loading up our lot. Come in today and celebrate the freedom of choice this month only at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Guaranteed credit approval may require money down. See dealer for details.
Let freedom ring.
Hot under the collar because your basement is full of water? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. Ox Foundation Solutions will come up with the right fix for you. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
What's your favorite high school sports memory? A late inning rally? A game-winning shot? A photo finish? Maybe it's a pep rally or a pregame ritual. Maybe it's the euphoria of a late-night bus ride home after a hard-fought win. Maybe it's having pizza with teammates after the game. Now, imagine if it never happened at all. School sports need your help. With budgets getting tighter, it's more than the games that are on the line. It's all the traditions, the community pride, the culture of your hometown high school. Plus, all those memories that are on the line, too. What can you do? It's simple. Buy a ticket when you can. Go to a game. Take the whole family. Let's do everything we can to keep those cherished school sports memories alive.
This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
Five-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have that yellow tag.
Media Days. I'm Jeff Sasser.
I'm Eddie Owen.
Eddie Owen. Next up is Lafayette High School. Coach Juan Williams. His first season last year with the Lafayette team. But filling in for Coach Williams is Mike Patillo. Started out tough last year. Lost the first 4 games. Won the next 5 and made it to the playoffs.
Coach Patillo said that he got a call yesterday that there was bus duty today, so he had to come in here, and he said he was mighty proud to be here, so we're glad to have Lafayette here.
Yeah, we are, and really a really good season, Eddie.
Yeah, they did have a good season.
To, every school had to go through these through this pandemic, and they did a good job and got 10 games in.
And with that, we're going to Lafayette High School.
All right, good morning again, everybody. We want to thank WOTM, Vincent, thank you guys for being here. Putting this on live TV, and certainly you can hear us on Fox Sports, The Game, 910, 1310. We appreciate our media being here, and certainly our schools, because without each of you, we would not be here. We also want to thank our presenting sponsor, the Orthopedic Clinic, and our event center, the bottling plant, this beautiful place that we're at here. Our other sponsors are Frederick Dean Funeral Home, Opelika Power Services, and Jeff Coat Trent. And we want to thank Coke for providing our drinks here today for all of you. All right, we've had 2 good starts with Chambers and Valley. Now it's time to bring up the Lafayette Bulldogs. I do not have Coach Juan Williams here today. Coach Williams is at bus driving school. And for those of you that know coaches, they have to learn how to drive the bus, and they have to get certified because they have to take the wheel when they head out of town. So we've got a good replacement for Coach Williams, one of his top assistants, Coach Patillo. We've got 4 players here from Lafayette, but I'll bring up the assistant coach, Coach Patillo.
Good morning. Hey, we want to say thank you to having us today because, like I said, 4 years ago, D-Mark and them got this thing going, and it's gotten better each and every year. So we want to say thank you for having us again. Like D-Mark said, Coach Williams couldn't be here today, so I get the honor of blessing y'all with presents today. Like I said, we'll start off and we'll introduce the guys we got with us. These are all some seniors that we have on our football team. 3 of them I've had since they were in pre-K kindergarten. I've been at Lafayette 15 years. The other one came to us after he got to the high school, but he's a Bulldog too. So I don't know him as well as I know the others, but you know what? We getting there, ain't we? All right, so on the end down here, we have Antavius Woody. He'll be offensive, defensive lineman for us. We have Cartavius Silman. He'll be a receiver and play multiple things, different things on defense. Vinay Singh, on offense, he'll be a receiver, play linebacker, maybe a little secondary on the defense. And Chandler Winston, also linebacker and receiver on the offense. First off, we'd like to say we're ready for this season. After last year, you know, kind of like what Hunter and Coach Allen were saying, we didn't know what you were going to be able to do or not do, depending on what was going on with the season and with the COVID. And wasn't sure from day to day who you might have in the weight room or who might be there and who might not be there. So we had to make sure we got everybody developed. And I think that was the biggest thing we learned last year was how to develop all of our athletes. When Coach Williams came in last year, he came in right before school got out. You know, with the COVID, we had to shut down, so we didn't get a spring period. So when we were able to come back in the summer, it was a lot of learning how Coach wanted to do things. He brought a lot of different things to the table as far as how he wanted to be a disciplined football team and make sure that we were doing the little things right and make sure that all of us understood that we were going to be a family. And I know, I think Jeff and them were talking about a few minutes ago, the season started off a little rough. We went 0-4. But after that, we went on a 5-game winning streak, made the playoffs, and, you know, got beat in the first round. But considering that we had a first year with a new coach and to do that and be able to still make the playoffs, I think that shows volumes for what he brought to the program and what we're going to continue to do this year. Like Coach Hunter said as well, we actually had a full off season this time and be able to do so Coach was able to really have our guys a whole year long. That off-season program is huge. When you don't have an off-season program, it shows. And our guys really bought in and was able to have that weight training that they needed during the summer, you know, the fall, spring, and all that during the summer, and they've gotten stronger. We've seen huge growth in our kids as far as how strong they've gotten. You know, we've been to a couple 7-on-7s, one at Auburn University and down at Auburn High School. Our guys are showing that they're going to be a force to be reckoned with in 2A ball this year. And part of that is because of these seniors and the leadership that they bring to the table. But like I said, we got a lot of young guys stepping up too. But right now in Lafayette, we're all about one thing. What's that, guys? Protect the brand. Protect the brand. If you come to our school, they're getting ready to do some stuff in the weight room as far as putting it up on the wall. We're going to do everything to do to protect the brand. What does that mean? Don't do anything that will embarrass Lafayette. You got that Lafayette on your chest for a reason. And that Lafayette should mean something to you. If it don't, you're in the wrong place. So we're going to do everything we can to do every single day to protect the brand. At this time, I'll take any questions if you have any.
How you doing, Coach? Jack Patterson from WRBL. First things first, you want to make sure we get your name spelled right. Can you spell it for us?
My first name is Michael, Micheal, and Patillo is Pattillo.
Awesome. And talking about your season last year, you know, obviously a slow start, but you guys picked it up at the back end of the year. What lessons did you learn from that you can take to the start of this year, especially since you got a full off season to work?
Well, I think the biggest lessons we can learn is our guys were very resilient. They didn't quit. You know, a lot of times you get a situation where you start off a season 0-4, the kids get real discouraged. Sometimes the coaches get discouraged, and it can cause a real problem. But never once did our kids, you know, give up on it. In those games that we lost, if you look back at them, they weren't by much. There's a couple of them we should have won, and we got, you know, it was just some things that happened at the ends of the ball game. But I think the biggest thing we came out of that was they were resilient, and we're going to be able to be motivated to do better as we went along.
This is for Chandler and Bo. Just what are the 7-on-7s meant to you guys so far this summer?
It's been pretty great doing the 7-on-7s this year. We've learned a lot. We've put in a lot of work. Just learning the new plays and the new defenses, it's been great, and I'm really proud to be a part of it.
The 7-on-7 was it was good for me because this is my first year actually playing football at high school level. Learning new plays, defensively, offensively, it's just a new thing for me. The coaches just fit me right in. to the offensive scheme and all that.
Question for Michael. I want to ask about Antavius. I mean, what you've been around him in the program, what makes him stand out and obviously caught a lot of colleges' attention, and obviously he's going to Florida State?
All right. Yeah, I mean, like I said, Antavius came to us. I think he came to the 8th grade when he started out with 8th grade. So you've been with us the last 5 years. Just when he first came there, because he was from 5 Points, right? So we didn't see him as much when the middle school and all that. But I think a biggest thing would be an ability that sometimes certain things can't be taught, but then having to understand and grow and being able to be coachable. And he's learned over the last few years that he's been a lot better, he's understanding that we've all been there and we're trying to help them all get to that next level, and just being coachable and learning those little things, because it's not about, being the best athlete in the world sometimes. When those coaches come to talk to us, first thing they're going to ask us, what kind of person is he? They already know what kind of athlete you are because they're there. But, all the intangibles that you can control as a person, the character, doing the right thing, making sure all those kind of things. But, I mean, overall, he's just been, a great kid as far as been trying to do and become a better person over the course of time.
Yeah, this is for Woody. Just what's your recruiting kind of been like, and what kind of stood out about Florida State to you?
Recruiting went very well, Florida State. They've been with me, so that was my first offer in November. And I've been kind of around the guys the whole way there, so finally made a commitment last month. And it's just been a team I really wanted to go to.
This question is also for you, Rex Castillo from WRBL. To go 0-4, I know that can be really demoralizing, but for you guys to be able to bounce back, and that's after 1 year with Coach Juan. But now that you guys have a full offseason, how confident are you now that you know the system a little bit more, and how excited are you for this season?
I got very comfortable with it. The guys, they understand what they need to do. Everybody got a role on the team, so it just takes everybody to become one.
Yeah, this is for Vinay. You're moving from outside linebacker to inside. Just what's been kind of the challenges with that, and how have you kind of enjoyed that transition so far?
I would say I enjoyed the transition because it taught me a lot about slowing my game down and reading offense more, like reading holes, how to play the defense, how to play the play, like how to drop into the zone. And it also taught me to teach the young kids the position that I moved out of, how to run that position, and how to be a stand-up guy in that position. So moving from middle linebacker, I'm very excited about it.
Question for you here, too. I know you made some plays at that Auburn University 7-on-7. Just what kind of confidence did that give you with the season just, I guess, a little bit over a month away?
It just really gave me a lot of confidence, and it taught me the work you put in, you will get out. And I've been working hard all summer. I've been coming to practice every day. I've been hitting the weights hard every day, conditioning hard every day. And when I got to the 7-on-7, the competition level was just so easy. And it's not because of who I am, it's because of the work I put in.
This question could be for any of the players or even for Coach. With the ability, with you guys being kind of together, knowing each other for so long, and that everybody's being together consistently, does that help you guys as far as like team chemistry and being able to learn things from each other and communicate better?
Yes, sir. The kids that we already got together now, we've came up through middle school, east side, all together. We just never knew it was going to be a time where we had to lead the program. So now we just really have a lot of young kids under us who buying in a lot of time and trying to help us protect this brand and protect this program we're trying to build at Lafayette. So, yes, sir. Coach.
Yeah, just to piggyback off what he said, it absolutely makes a huge difference when those guys are around each other all the time. They become like brothers. And like I said, I've had them since they were in elementary school and all the way through. And just to watch them, how much they've grown over that time. And also on the same sense of that is the coaching staff. A lot of our coaching staff has been there at least 5+ years. like I said, there's several, 2 or 3 of us that have been there more than 10 years. So when you got that camaraderie between the coaches and the kids coming together and they're staying together, that helps build a lot of that team, atmosphere that you want in order to be successful.
We have any other questions?
And I'll let all the players that haven't spoken talk about this, answer this question about being around Coach Williams' plan versus the past, if you guys want to come up and talk about that.
The past Lafayette football, I was real young, and I really didn't understand like what the program had going on. I knew it was like football, workout, everybody want to be great, right? But Coach Williams just brought a different understanding to the program. Like, he just broke it down more. He took little steps by steps, just teaching us how to be great people first. Because once you become a great person, you'll be able to be coachable, respectful, listen to people, and just be successful in life. And Coach Williams just brought more than football to the city of Lafayette, and he is trying to help more than just football players in the city of Lafayette. And yes, sir.
You other guys want to answer that question? Okay. Thank you, Coach, and Lafayette High School. Good luck in the coming season.
Appreciate it, and good luck to everybody else as well.
Was Lafayette High School Coach Patillo, Michael Patillo, assistant coach. He'd been there a long time.
Yes.
Coach Williams in bus school. Got to take care of those, get your driver's license to be able to move those buses to get those kids from place to place. Very important.
Yeah, and we talked about it. They had a tough start. It was his first year at Lafayette High School, coaching the Bulldogs, Coach Juan Williams, and he's a weekly guest on our show, guest on the Coaches Show. And I've never laid eyes on Coach Williams. Just talked to him.
He was here last year.
Okay. Well, yeah, I did. I'm sorry.
I was going to say you met him.
I'm
last
sorry.
year. Great guy. Great guy.
Had a tough start to the season, but rolled it in the second half. Won 5 in a row. Got in the playoffs and caught Leroy in the first round.
That's a tough opponent to catch. I look for Lafayette to have a good year. I do. This is year number 2 under Coach Williams, and I think, as you can tell, they're settled down a little bit, kind of like Coach Hunter with Valley. Having his second year after he's calmed down after jumping in. All right,
and it was such a tough year, Mark, with the protocol that they had to go through. Our next up is Lee Scott Academy.
That's right.
Lee Scott, another team that did make the playoffs, even regardless of a tough season, had to play Bessemer Academy twice, once in the playoffs. And if you're familiar with the AHSAA, Bessemer Academy is a top program in the AHSAA, and arguably probably the region that Lee Scott plays in is the toughest region.
No doubt.
In AHSAA.
No doubt. We are live at the Media Days, presented by the Orthopedic Clinic here at the Event Center, the bottling plant in downtown Opelika. Quick break. We're going to come back with Lee Scott Academy, Coach Buster Daniel on our Media Day.
Tickets are on sale now.
Let freedom ring all month long at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Declare your independence from your old ride and upgrade to a nicer, newer Ford, Honda, or Nissan. We're giving you up to $3,500 in down payment assistance to get into the new vehicle you want. Interest rates are at historic lows. There's never been a better time to get more for your money. Plus, we've never paid more for your trade. Get a cash offer even if you don't buy from us. We'll pay you $1,000 more than any other written offer. Other dealers may be low on inventory, but at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga, we're stepping on the gas and loading up our lot. Come in today and celebrate the freedom of choice this month only at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Guaranteed credit approval may require money down. See dealer for details.
Let freedom ring.
Hot under the collar because your basement is full of water? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. Ox Foundation Solutions will come up with the right fix for you. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
What's your favorite high school sports memory? A late inning rally? A game-winning shot? A photo finish? Maybe it's a pep rally or a pregame ritual. Maybe it's the euphoria of a late-night bus ride home after a hard-fought win. Maybe it's having pizza with teammates after the game. Now, imagine if it never happened at all. School sports need your help. With budgets getting tighter, it's more than the games that are on the line. It's all the traditions, the community pride, the culture of your hometown high school. Plus, all those memories that are on the line, too. What can you do? It's simple. Buy a ticket when you can. Go to a game. Take the whole family. Let's do everything we can to keep those cherished school sports memories alive.
This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
Uneven floors got you rolling? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong. Get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Media Days. I'm Jeff Sasser.
I'm Eddie Owen.
And next up on the podium will be Coach Buster Daniel and the Lee Scott Warriors.
All right, welcome back. Media Days, High School Media Days, presented by the Orthopedic Clinic here at the Event Center on Fox Sports, The Game, 910, 1310. You can pick us up on our Facebook page with a live stream, and we also can watch us live on WOTM TV, the official television network of the Alabama High School Athletic Association. All right, we've had a good start this morning. We've had 3 schools come up. I'm going to introduce a longtime friend of mine. I've known him when he was young and played high school football and coached at Opelika for over 20 years. And now he went to Valley, his home, and now he's the head coach of of the Lee Scott Warriors after leaving Valley. Buster Daniels, head coach of the Warriors. Come on up, Coach.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. And first of all, I want to thank your sponsors. I don't have a list like D-Mark had to thank everybody, but I want to thank iHeartRadio and Fox, the sport, D-Mark and those guys, all you ladies and men out here for what you do for high school sports, high school football in general, promoting the high school kids and everybody's program out here. I want to thank y'all all for that. Just jump right in, talk a little bit about last season. I'm starting my second year at Lee Scott. I've been with these guys for now 14 months, a year and 2 months, and it's been a kind of a roller coaster ride. Kind of like Coach Hunter said last year when I left Valley, he had the month of June and July to get ready for season, and as well as I did at Lee Scott. We had 2 months and to get rolling and try to get guys stronger in the weight room and put in our system and teach the things we need to teach. So it was a quick go last year. We've had a great off season, great summer. Everybody wants to forget last year, especially me. That was a tough year for us, and with things we went through, and everybody went through the same things with the COVID and from wearing masks on the bus, and not being around each other, not drinking water from the same place, and all that, and everybody is glad that's over. In my 27 years of coaching, I've never been through anything like that, and we don't want to do that again. So thank goodness it's over. But having off season. After our season last year, we won 2 ball games. A lot of that was being new. Guys have been they've been out of the weight room at Lee Scott, I think, for 6 or 7 months, and it told on us. It wasn't anybody's fault. They were in between coaches. The COVID got them knocked down. So we went into the season not near as strong or as tough as we needed to be, and it showed on Friday nights for us. But having a full off season, full summer, these guys, we were led by these seniors right here, 3 of my seniors. You know, they bought into what we wanted to do. They bought into what we were teaching, and just drilled the weight room. And you know, you can tell the difference, especially these young men right here. I had a guy come in the other day to visit me. They were passing, going on the track, and he looked at me and said, "Those are not the same guys you had last year." And I said, "Yeah, they are. But the room that you're standing in right now is the reason they look like they do." And you know, this group of young men, led by these seniors and other guys, you know, I can leave the weight room, go sit in my office for the whole time they're working out, and they'll never miss a beat. And that says a lot for these young men and the way they've been brought up by their parents. But they're great kids. I love being around them. They're eager to learn. And, you know, they weren't satisfied with our season we had last year, and they want to see that turned around. And that's why they went to work like they did. They're fine young men and do everything you ask them to do. So, you know, I'm going to talk about our season in just a minute, our schedule. But one thing I want to do, I want to mention our assistant coaches, because, you know, head coaches aren't as good as assistant coaches are. And I've got a fine bunch of men that are good football coaches, but they're better men. And they're going to take care of the young guys that we're coaching and treat them right, love on them, and coach them hard at the same time. But my offensive coordinator is Coach Rick Wade. Coach Wade has over 30 years experience, and he's been a head coach in baseball and football, and he's been an OC everywhere he's been. But he does a great job for us. Coach Jacob Osmond. Coach Osmond wasn't even coaching football last year when I got to Lee Scott. He was a baseball assistant, and we got him out to coach football. And boy, was that a great thing for us to do. He coaches our DBs, wide receivers. He's going to be my special teams coordinator this year, and he's also my computer guy. Anything I need done with computers, he takes care of me. Coach Scott Casey. Coach Scott Casey is a volunteer coach. He helps on the D-line and offensive line. He's a great man. He's what we call our life coach. He talks about other things to the kids that they need to know about growing up and being young men. Coach Slade Ponder is going to help with the varsity this year. He's going to help coach the football, the Ys, the fullbacks, you know, in the spread. Some people call them fullbacks, some people call them Ys, but he's new at he helped with the JV last year. He's going to be on the varsity as much as he can. A young man named Clay Sanford that played at Lee Scott. He's going to help out as much as he can on the varsity. Our JV staff is Coach William Johnson, the head coach. He's also our AD, and he's the head basketball coach, but he's going to head up our JV program. A young man named Eli Culpepper is coaching for me. He helped last year. Eli played quarterback for me at Valley, and he wanted to get in the coaching realm, so I gave him a chance to come down and help out, start learning. And so he's going to be with us. And a guy named Matt Shiver. Matt Shiver's got a young man, has a son that's 8th grade, is going to start on the JV as a center. So he's going to help out with the JV. And we have a Pee Wee program at Lee Scott, like many other private schools do. Our head coach there, Robert Ezell, he's going to be helped by David Zachary and Jeremy Johnson. We have a great thing in AHSAA. Most private schools have their Pee Wee program on campus with them. A lot of your public schools, they'll have a rec program, but they don't have their hands in very much. They can't tell them what to do, how we do, and all that stuff. But our Pee Wee program is going to run the same offense, same defense that we run on the varsity level. So it won't be quite as in-depth, of course, but they're going to line up the same way and run a lot of our plays. And then when they get to JV, the JV can build on that. When they get to us, we can just add on and build to what they already know. So it's a good program to have. Having all those guys under my hat, and I have my hands involved in all of it. And our varsity coaches work with the Pee Wee guys as much as they can in the JV. So it's a really good thing to have that set up there at Lee Scott. Talk a little bit about our returning players. We lost, I think, 11 seniors last year to graduation. We have 7 seniors this year. And you say, well, you're not very experienced, but the guys that are playing behind them, these guys right here played at a young age. We had 2 ninth graders that started last year on the varsity after the second game. I had a running back, Jonathan Myers. He took over running back and played the rest of the year as a 9th grader. Andrew Hahn plays as a 9th grader. And most of our guys that played last year were underclassmen. So we're young in age, but we've got some experience and got a lot of guys returning that played a lot last year. Just talk about a few of them. Anderson Grimes, a wide receiver. DB is going to be a senior. He weighs about 140 pounds, and most of that's heart. So he's going to be a good asset for us. Jonathan Myers, I just talked about, will be a 10th grade running back. Andrew Hahn is the other, was the 9th grade last year starter. He's a sophomore, going to play a little running back in DB. Tate McKelvey, which I have over here, is a senior. Tate's our starting quarterback, one of the toughest kids on the team. Anything we did last year was a tough man drill. He's the first guy in and the last guy to get out. So, we're really expecting big things from him. Miles Zachary also played a lot of wide receiver in DB last year. Is going to be a sophomore. Matthew Rollator, you're going to hear this guy's name. He is going to be a 10th grader. He is our kicker. I've coached a lot of kickers at Opelika in my life. I've coached good guys at Valley. This is the best young kicker I've ever coached, and I'm putting that out there. Like I say, he was a 9th grader last year. He kicked a few 55-yarders in practice, so look for big things for that young man. Dallin Bush is a starting linebacker. He's our plugger. He's the go-getter on the defense. Looking at big things out of him. Cade Wagner sitting over here to my left. Cade is a defensive end and offensive guard and long snapper, so he does a lot of things for us. Connor Starr, he's our center, starting center right now. He came in after game 2 and played the rest of the year as a sophomore. Going to be a junior this year. Graydon Ketchum, probably the smallest guy on the offensive line, but probably one of the toughest. He just gets there and fight, and that's what playing offensive line is all about. So he's an offensive lineman and defensive end, going to be a junior. Jackson Earnhardt, sitting to my left right here, number 72, is offensive tackle, defensive tackle. He's a man-child when we get out on the field, and that's what we're looking for. Big things for him to lead the offense and open holes for the running backs. And Joseph Horn, he's offensive tackle, defensive end. Going to be a junior this year. Was also a starter last year. Basketball player, just a very good athlete. Had a couple transfer guys in this year, which is going to help us. We got a guy named Jacob Larkin. He's going to be a junior, wide receiver. Ryan Deering is another quarterback that moved in. Landry Cochran is a young man that moved in from Georgia. Chandler Martin moved in, Connor Stewart, Alex Cash. All the guys are juniors except for one, and they're going to play big roles for us this year, and we're glad to have them at Lee Scott. And we got one guy that we got out of the halls that should have played last year. His name's Patrick Futch. Patrick is an outstanding athlete, track star, and he's going to help us out this year too, do big things for us, and we're really looking forward to these young men helping us and doing big things for Lee Scott this year. Talk about the schedule real quick before we have questions for the young men. In AHSAA, I really think that we have the toughest schedule out there. And you got to look at what we start off with. We start off the first game of the year on August 19th on a Thursday against the defending state champion in Chambers, 2A state champion. Very good football team, loaded with athletes, very well coached. It's going to be a great test for us at the beginning of the year. And then we play open after that. We're open. Everybody wants to play open because you get a chance to get well, get a few things, get a few guys back, and, fix some mistakes. Very next game, then we go into the runner-up in 3A. So we play as state champion, defending state champion, and a runner-up in 3A. After that, we play the 3A state champion in Pike Lib. After that, we play Macon East. Macon East is always a powerhouse in AHSAA. They're always in the playoffs and go deep. Then we go with Springwood, and we play Bessemer. Bessemer beat us in the playoffs last year. Very good football team year in, year out. Then we play Valiant, which is a region game. We play Hooper, which is a region game. Then we open again, and we end up with Morgan. We picked up Morgan this year to play game 10 because we needed some games. So we don't know much about Morgan, but they're always outstanding down that way. Hear people talking about them. They're a solid program. Just don't know a whole lot about them. And then we'll hopefully go into the playoffs. We're looking forward to this year because our guys they've stepped up. They worked their back ends off in the weight room all year. As you can tell by looking at these young men, they're really filling out. They're feeling good about themselves. So I'm really and truly looking for a good year out of these young men. Is there any questions now?
Hey, Coach Daniel, Jack Patterson with WRBL. Obviously, last year, your first season, you joined the team in the early beginning of the summer. Now that you got that full off season with the team, how do you feel about this year, and how do you feel like the chemistry has grown with the team?
Well, like I said, we came in with our tails on fire last year. We had June and July to get ready. We're trying to install a brand new offense, a brand new defense. These guys have changed. I think I know Tate has, and I think Jackson has, and they've run, I think, 3 different offenses in 3 years, 3 different defenses in 3 years. So there was a lot of learning for those guys. There was a lot of learning for us as coaches, trying to get to know these young men. But having a full off season, man, we were able to put in the whole offense this summer. Because it was just going over what they already knew and adding a few more things. But I feel really good about it. The guys have bought in. They understanding the offense better, the defense better, and I'm really looking for big things this year.
A question for each of the players, so you guys can just take turns. Just sort of talk about what the offseason's been like and getting to work with Coach Daniel and the rest of the staff, getting ready for this year.
You know, it's been good. Having Coach Jones here for now a year and 2 months, it's let us know what kind of football he wants us to play, and we'll be able to pick up where we left off last year.
It's been real good. We have a lot of energy in the weight room. It's a different atmosphere this year, honestly. We're picking up where we left off last year. Everybody's bought into the program, and I think it's going to be something completely different this year.
Yeah, it's like what Jackson said. We have had a crazy different atmosphere compared to what the past few years were like, and this past summer's been great. You know, we've been putting in a lot of work, and it's looking real good.
Jonathan Hoppy with WTVM in Columbus. Jackson, a question for you. What's it like for Coach to describe you as a man-child, and what is the offense going to look like? What are your expectations up front?
I mean, obviously I laugh at it because, you know, I tell people I'm 17 and they, you know, they don't believe me. I guess genetics, because I got a big family. I think offense this year, you know, losing a senior DJ Robertson last year, obviously a big guy. We're a little bit smaller, but I do think that we have the heart and we're going to be able to open up holes. I mean, you know, Graydon Ketchum, he is small, but I mean, he has probably the most heart on the team. And if you tell him to go do something, he's going to do his best to do it. I think our offense this year is just going to be really good compared to last year, and we have so much more heart and energy.
Any other questions?
Hey guys, Rex Castillo with WRBL. Just a question for the players. As Coach mentioned, you guys have a tough stretch the first 3 games. Guys who either are state champions or are the runner-ups in those state games. How do you look at that challenge for the first 3 weeks now that you have another year with Coach Daniel?
I mean, we're used to it. We've always opened up with a pretty tough schedule, and we just learned to fight through it and use those first few games as learning experience.
Like Tate said, we're used to it. I think it kind of fuels our fire a bit more than most teams because having that harder schedule, you know, you win that game and you feel so much better going into next week. It's almost like you have more to prove because we're going against, you know, defending state champs. So if we beat them, you know, it's more fire to the next going into next week.
Yeah, I mean, they're right about saying that we've always had kind of a tough schedule at the beginning of the year, and I think we'll be ready. We've been putting in the work this summer, so we'll be ready for them.
Just to piggyback on what those guys have said, you know, yeah, we're playing defending state champions, runner-ups, and all that. They graduated some players. They lost some players. So they won't be the same team, and Lee Scott's not the same team either. So, you know, we're a lot different than we were last year, and, you know, people are going to see that when we get on the field.
Hi, question is for all players. What are y'all's personal and team goals for the season?
As far as like personal and team, I think getting closer as a family, because you know football's family. It's more than just throwing on pads, going into a game, hitting every single time. I mean, we really bond. I think our team time that we bond in that really helps us get closer, especially to our younger guys. I think growing as an individual and family and a better person has helped through football, and obviously Coach Daniel's helped with that. And I think everybody's just excited to really bond together this year.
Us seniors have one more year, so I think we're going to throw it all out there and give it all we got.
I'd say that our goals, you know, you obviously always want to get better. So I'd say as a team goal, we definitely want to do better than what we did last year.
This question is for Coach Daniel. So you talked about the continuity you have in the program, at least, got from varsity to JV to Pee Wee. How important is that, not just for what you're trying to do at the varsity level, but what you're trying to build as a program?
Well, I've talked to some parents about things we do for JV and varsity. We want JV to feel like they're a part of us. A lot of schools treat JV, maybe not as a stepchild, but they don't include them because they really don't have time for them. We want our Pee Wees and our JVs to feel like a part of Lee Scott because we're all warriors, we're all one family, just as Cade mentioned, and so we want them to feel like that. So it's big having all of us on the same campus at the same time.
Good luck in the coming season, Coach Daniels and Lee Scott Warriors.
Thank you.
Let freedom ring all month long at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Declare your independence from your old ride and upgrade to a nicer, newer Ford, Honda, or Nissan. We're giving you up to $3,500 in down payment assistance to get into the new vehicle you want. Interest rates are at historic lows. There's never been a better time to get more for your money. Plus, we've never paid more for your trade. Get a cash offer even if you don't buy from us. We'll pay you $1,000 more than any other written offer. Other dealers may be low on inventory, but at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga, we're stepping on the gas and loading up our lot. Come in today and celebrate the freedom of choice this month only at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Guaranteed credit approval may require money down. See dealer for details.
Let freedom ring.
Hot under the collar because your basement is full of water? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. Ox Foundation Solutions will come up with the right fix for you. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
What's your favorite high school sports memory? A late inning rally? A game-winning shot? A photo finish? Maybe it's a pep rally or a pregame ritual. Maybe it's the euphoria of a late-night bus ride home after a hard-fought win. Maybe it's having pizza with teammates after the game. Now, imagine if it never happened at all. School sports need your help. With budgets getting tighter, it's more than the games that are on the line. It's all the traditions, the community pride, the culture of your hometown high school. Plus, all those memories that are on the line, too. What can you do? It's simple. Buy a ticket when you can. Go to a game. Take the whole family. Let's do everything we can to keep those cherished school sports memories alive.
This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
Uneven floors got you rolling? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong. Get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Football sport media days. I'm Jeff Sasser.
I'm Eddie Owen.
And it's brought to you by the Orthopedic Clinic. Next up on the list will be Lynette High School and Coach Clifford Story. Lynette going, 9-3 last year, or 10-3. Lost to 6A Valley, lost to 4A champion Hanley High School in overtime, both games in overtime, and then losing in the third round to Leroy.
One of the most successful programs in East Alabama.
No question. Now to Lynette.
All right, welcome back to High School Media Days, presented by the Orthopedic Clinic here live at the Event Center. We appreciate all of our media being here. We certainly appreciate Coca-Cola providing the drinks, Frederick Dean Funeral Home, Opelika Power Services, and Jeff Coat Trent Funeral Home, and the Event Center here, of course, our presenting sponsor, the Orthopedic Clinic. Without those good folks and our wonderful media that's in the house, we've got print media, TV media, we got Gator media, we got them all in the house here, so I'm glad to have everybody here. All right, our next school up is Lafayette High School. I was sitting here talking with Coach Story. I've known him a long time, back when he was at Auburn High School back in the early 2000s, and he's been a head coach at Lafayette for how many years now, Coach? 13th year. That says a lot. He's done a tremendous amount of work in 13 years, and there's one thing I can tell you about Coach Story. He is a good family man, a good Christian man. But with no further ado, the head coach of the Lafayette Panthers, Coach Clifford Story.
First of all, I would like to thank all our media for always doing a great job with high school football. It means a lot for the exposure that you give local high schools in this area. We appreciate that. When I tell you this has been a whirlwind for us, we lost our facility February the 1st, so we had to really adjust how we've been doing things over the past 12 years due to having to relocate our workout facility. But some have been unusual, but it have been great as well because our kids have really adjusted. They've gotten used to doing things one way, and they had to adjust to doing things a little different. But I'm pleased to where we are at this point. I got a lot of great leaders this year. I got 4 of them up here with me now. I have Markevius Atkinson, my quarterback. I have Lantio Cheeks, my linebacker. I have Caden Story, my DN. I have Javante Coop, who plays on both sides of the ball as well. All of them play on both sides of the ball. But I commend my coaching staff for the things that we've had to do to adjust to make make our team get to this point. Our administration, everybody in the community have done an awesome job of making sure that Lafayette is Lafayette and having the things that we need to have to be able to have a successful football season. Going into this year, we got a really tough schedule as well. Tough region, a lot of teams that we're familiar with, but yet and still, we the standard, and I'm not going to back down for that. We work extremely hard. These guys work day in and day out to help elevate themselves as well as the Lafayette community as a whole. You know, my coaching staff, we meet tirelessly to try to come up with a great game plan for our kids to be successful heading into the year. But I'm very excited about this team, about this season. This is going to be one of the largest senior class I've ever had. The most I've had, which was last year, I thought was a big class. I had 11. But this year I got 21 seniors. We've never had that many seniors since I've been there. But the good thing about these guys, they've all have played rec together, and this is going to be the first time all of them really have a chance to get on the field together as a unit. So we're very excited with where we are and where we're headed. And I tell the kids all the time, we're not going backwards. A lot of times people always say that, you know, Coach, you got 21 seniors. The guy asked me in the community. I said, yeah. He said, you're gonna be rebuilding. I said, no, we don't rebuild. I said, we reload. Because I got a great group of young guys who really understands the program and what it's gonna take for us to get to this point. But again, 2021 senior season is gonna be really excited. I'm excited for it and for these guys to be able to make the adjustment that we need to make to be successful. Any questions?
Hey, Coach Story, Jack Patterson with WRBL. Talk about the resiliency of this team. This team has gone through so much, not just this year, but in years past as well. Talk about the resiliency of this team where, you know, no matter what adversity kind of, you know, comes against y'all, which it seems like everything does nowadays, that you guys keep bouncing back and getting better.
Well, you know, we don't make excuses. We only control the things that we can control, and I tell them that all the time. I said, we're not going to make excuses for what have happened and moving forward. We just going to grind. We're going to work extremely hard in the weight room. We're going to do the things on the field that we need to do to be successful. And so we eliminate any other outside problems. You know, we're going to have to, you know, be playing this year, dressing in some trailers and modulars and things like that, but you'll see that it's not going to faze them. They're going to go on with their daily activities and do the things that they need to do, and we're going to have a lot of parental support going to help adjust us on our end, but we're just going to control what we can control.
This is for Coach and KK. You know, changing quarterbacks the last couple of years, you know, KK's kind of played a little bit, but KZak kind of took over that role last year. Just what have you seen from this year? And KK, what's kind of been the biggest step you've taken?
Well, what I can say about him, he finally learned the game. He's understanding pockets and areas that the ball need to be thrown in, and he developed his body. As you can see, you know, he's trimmed up. He's got himself in position to be quicker, faster, make some of the moves and the throws that he wasn't able to make last year. So I'm excited, you know, for KK this year, just to see the growth from last year to this year.
Could you repeat that, please?
What's been the biggest step you've taken since last year to this year?
I would have to say learning the game again, because when I left Valley, I really didn't play my 10th grade year. So, like, all of it just really left my mind. But Coach Story and the whole coaching staff helped me, you know, learn the game again. So I feel like it's going to be easier this year.
Question for Coach. Just watching Caden, when did you know he had a chance to be a special football player, and how have you seen him handle all the attention he's gotten over the last 6 months or a year?
With all of my kids, I really noticed things when they was younger, elementary school, because all of them have came through our program as my managers, and Caden would get in the way of the drills, and the D-line coach or the linebacker coach or quarterback guy would be like, Coach, can you get them out of the way? So he would always want to get in and do routes and drills with all the other positions. So I just started to see his athleticism kick in. And so then when he started playing junior high, I could see things starting to develop. And then when he hit a growth spurt from 8th grade to 9th grade, he went from 6'1", 180 to 6'3", at that time about 235. So he outgrew the quarterback position, which I was grooming him at. But he handled his recruiting very well. I'm really... he's matured a lot, and along with Trey and Christian helping him along the way. Sometimes I just sit there and listen at him on the phone, talking to recruiters and head coach. He have done a great job of handling himself and, you know, just being straight up and blunt with the things that he expects and the things he wants from a program. So I'm real pleased with how far he's come.
Hey guys, Rex Castillo from WRBL. This is for the seniors up there. You guys are 4 of a big class of 21 on this roster. What's it like, as Coach mentioned, that this will be the first time all of y'all get to play together and play for this team? And of course, the standard is really high in that. So what's it like to play with each other this year?
This year playing, all of it playing together, I just feel like it's going to come together just the way it should be. Because, like, ever since we were young, we was always playing together, and we dreamed of our senior year playing together and all that. So now that it's here, I just feel like we're going to show up and show out.
Us 21 seniors, it's something that we talked about ever since elementary, and for us to be just like our class on the field, we know, and we also know what it takes to win a state championship. So just our class going out there and competing for one, and we're going to do whatever it takes to get it.
I just feel like it's going to be special because it's all we talk about, and everything going to come together.
With us playing rec together already, I feel like our chemistry is going to be great together.
Yeah, this is for Coop. You know, what's this summer kind of been like for you? I know you've had a couple of chances to go out to some college scouting stuff.
Going to the camp, it like helped me learn a lot of new things and helped me get my name out there more. So I really enjoyed going to the camps.
Any other questions?
I got one.
This one's for Coach. Coach, you told me a month ago this could possibly be your biggest squad up front on both sides of the ball. What kind of advantage does that give you as you get ready for the season?
Well, it's going to give me a huge advantage because I'll probably run the ball more than I have in the past. I was a quarterback in high school, so I used to like to throw it around. But I'm going to have a plethora of running backs, and I'm going to have a huge offensive line. And I never had an offensive line to where I can, have not had to convert a guy on defense that didn't start to come and convince to play offensive line. So I actually have about 8 guys that literally want to block as offensive linemen and defensive linemen. So we're going to be big up front, and we're going to be fast, and we're going to be physical.
One other question. Are you claiming it this year?
There's no doubt. I mean, that's when you don't win it, I'm telling you, it does something on you internally, and it drives you more and more each year. And I know I got a group of guys, all these guys here have got exposure to playing in the big game, and they know what it feels like to put this ring on your hand, and that's what we're gonna do. I don't shy away from it. People love to say, Coach, that's bragging. No, it's not bragging, it's believing. And I'm a firm believer life and death is in the power of the tongue. And that's what I stand for, and that's what I believe in, because I know Lynette gonna be what Lynette's supposed to be. And I tell them all the time, we're gonna be around when the grass is brown.
Any other questions? Well, Coach, I know that you say that you have a tough schedule, but when somebody sees Lynette on their schedule, they shudder.
Yeah, I mean, I just tell the kids all the time, we are Lynette. When we step on the field, we want them to know when that game is over that they don't play the football team. Whether you 6A, whether you 4A, or whatever you play, we gonna put 11 men on the field and you gonna put 11, and we gonna battle. And I like to play larger team because it gives me a measuring stick of where my guys are and where their hearts are. And as a coaching staff, it really adjusts, and let us see where we are as a staff, because, the Valleys, the Hanleys, we got Georgiana this year, before Lafayette, we got back in the region with them. It would just always just test where we are. And so we want to be able to get pushed around a little bit. We want to get hit in the mouth, and I want to see how they respond. And they always respond, and they always going to fight back. And one thing that they going to do, they going to compete.
Good luck in the coming year, Coach Story, Lynette Panthers.
Thank you. Go Panthers.
All right, that's Clifford Story, head coach. 13 years with Lynette now, Jeff, and boy, has he done a tremendous job with the Panthers.
It has, just like we talked about previewing to them, that they only lost 3 games last year, and of course they moved back up to 2A and got a tough region that they play in. They lost to 6A Valley in overtime.
Yep.
Lost to 4A state champion Hanley High School in overtime, and lost by a score to Leroy in the 3rd round.
That's some pretty sporty teams. Coach Story's done a tremendous job since he's been there. More to come. Let's see, we've got Beauregard, Springwood, Beulah, Glenwood, and Auburn High left for our high school media days on Tuesday. Quick break, and we'll be right back with those schools.
Check this out.
Let freedom ring all month long at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Declare your independence from your old ride and upgrade to a nicer, newer Ford, Honda, or Nissan. We're giving you up to $3,500 in down payment assistance to get into the new vehicle you want. Interest rates are at historic lows. There's never been a better time to get more for your money. Plus, we've never paid more for your trade. Get a cash offer even if you don't buy from us. We'll pay you $1,000 more than any other written offer. Other dealers may be low on inventory, but at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga, we're stepping on the gas and loading up our lot. Come in today and celebrate the freedom of choice this month only at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Guaranteed credit approval may require money down. See dealer for details.
Let freedom ring.
Hot under the collar because your basement is full of water? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. Ox Foundation Solutions will come up with the right fix for you. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
What's your favorite high school sports memory? A late inning rally? A game-winning shot? A photo finish? Maybe it's a pep rally or a pregame ritual. Maybe it's the euphoria of a late-night bus ride home after a hard-fought win. Maybe it's having pizza with teammates after the game. Now, imagine if it never happened at all. School sports need your help. With budgets getting tighter, it's more than the games that are on the line. It's all the traditions, the community pride, the culture of your hometown high school, plus all those memories that are on the line too. What can you do? It's simple. Buy a ticket when you can. Go to a game. Take the whole family. Let's do everything we can to keep those cherished school sports memories alive.
This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
Uneven floors got you rolling? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong. Get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Welcome back to High School Media Days here at the Event Center in Opelika, Alabama, presented to you by the Orthopedic Clinic, iHeartRadio, Fox Sports, The Game, 910, 1310. Special thanks to Big Van Riggs there for taking care of a lot of this, setting it up. Jeff and Eddie, appreciate what y'all do, a part of this too. And all of our wonderful media that are here from all over, thank you very much for being here covering our great event here. We've had a great start today to our Tuesday. We do want to remind you we'll be back tomorrow morning. We'll be back here bright and early at 8 o'clock with Roddy Beck. Will lead it off from the AHSAA. And we'll roll on through with Smith Station, Reeltown High School, Russell County, Notasulga, Lochapoka, Benjamin Russell, Southern Prep, Dadeville, the Oak School, and we'll end it with Opelika High School. So, but we are here today on Tuesday, and we're glad to have everybody here. And we're going to bring in a brand new coach. I think we've got 4 or 5 new coaches to our media days this year. He's not new to coaching, but he's new to our area, coming straight from Prattville High School as a defensive coordinator, formerly for my good friend Caleb Ross, but he is now the head coach here at Beauregard High School, Justin Jones. Coach Jones, welcome aboard.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Good morning. Just want to, first of all, just like the Coach Story said, I appreciate the attention to high school athletics. I've been in the Birmingham metro area, been in the Wiregrass, Central Alabama, and I have noticed in my short time here since April, just the coverage that you guys do for high school football is really impressive. So you need to pat yourself on the back, and because y'all do a tremendous job. Like I said, since I've been here since mid-April, I think I've seen every face or either talked to the phone or texted back and forth or been on the radio with everybody that's represented here today. So we appreciate, especially at Beauregard, what you guys do and really the whole East Alabama area, what you guys do for high school athletics. Again, my name is Justin Jones, the head football coach at Beauregard High School. Got hired right at the beginning of April. We had spring training and then hit the summer rolling. We're very fortunate number-wise. Man, we've got mid-80s for our varsity kids 9 through 12, and got a good young group of middle school kids rolling in 2 times a week in the summer. And we've been really blessed. God's looked after us, kept us healthy, and we're really excited about where we are. We look at this as a climb. And with any type of climb, you got to start somewhere. We talk to our kids about, even if we're crawling, we want to crawl forward. We always want to move forward. We always want to try to demand that we make ourselves better daily. We live by a blueprint that says go hard, do right, expect to win. And it has to be in that order. Because for us, the go hard part means you got to understand the value in working hard. You got to understand that, like me, every day I've got to push myself to make myself better. That's days I don't really feel good. That's like, as C.J. Reese can explain to you, that's when the Lord turned the heat up this morning on us this week. And it gets a little bit hotter than maybe it's been the past few weeks. But going hard for us is just a core value to understand that there's value in working hard. The do right has to come next. And for me, you really can't understand how to do right until you understand how to push yourself, how you understand how to maximize your potential, which is part of going hard. The do right part of it, okay, means that every day, all right, let's be real, we're all humans in here, so there was only one perfect one. Okay, so we're not asking for perfection, but we want to aim to just do right daily. You say, well, Coach, what does that mean? That means every day I'm going to try to expect from myself that I'm going to do right by my community, by my school, by my team, my football family, and then by my true family. It's kind of like an honor system. You know, we want to honor the man upstairs by what we try to do every day. We want to honor our football family. We want to honor our family that our last name represents. We want to honor the Beauregard family as well. And then the last part of it is expect to win. And for me, if you're not going hard and you're not trying to do right daily, then how in the world can you expect to win? And so for us, that culture blueprint is what we've tried to establish over the short time that I've had the privilege of being at Beauregard. We're kind of like the old saying of Smokey and the Bandit. We got a long way to go and a short time to get there. But we're gonna hit that thing running just like Smokey did and the Bandit did back in the day. So any questions for you guys? I'll introduce my player that's with me. Our senior representation today is Mr. C.J. Reese, number 2 senior wide receiver. And I know that, Lynette had a host of kids up here. Like I said, we're an 80-plus man roster, but we're only about 9 seniors on our roster. And the coaching staff unanimously voted for CJ to be our representation today. He represents the culture change that's been going on, which, let's be honest, for a kid that's played, the last 3 years of his career, and to his impact just with his daily inspiration of his teammates has been, and his buy-in has been second to none. So his teammates and the assistant coaches thought that CJ maximizes the representation of the climb and what we're trying to get done this first season at Beauregard. All right, now, any questions?
Hey, Coach John, Jack Patterson with WRBL. You talked about changing the culture at Beauregard. What exactly does that entail, and how has it impacted the team chemistry as we get ready to go into the fall?
Well, for us, you just have to. For me, it's a place in my career that it's kind of Beauregard fits the other places that I've been able to in my journey. At Florella, they were 0-30. We were able to flip them into a playoff contender by the second year. New Brockton was very similar, and we were 5 straight years of making to the playoffs, won a couple of home playoff games, that sort of deal. Went to Cordova. They were 1-9 when we walked on campus, and within the first year, we're back in the playoffs with them. So Beauregard kind of fits, and our journey and my journey as a coach, you pick up things from every place. And when it deals with culture, for us, it's really about establishing what that blueprint is that I explained before. I think you got to have that foundation in place. You have to make sure that your coaches and even the custodians, the principals, the administration, everybody has to be on board with what that blueprint is, because everybody's got a hand in the success and how quickly that comes to pass. Beauregard's a place that's had success. I mean, they're one of the few. I know Lynette was up here before us. Beauregard's one of those few places in East Alabama that does have one of them rings on their finger. Okay, so they know what success looks like. All right, and it's our job as a staff to lay that foundation that's going to get us back to that success that the community deserves, and these kids deserve as well. So for us, it's about establishing that blueprint as quickly as possible, okay, which turns the culture that you want. For us, it's also developing a brotherhood. I think that's a huge. I'm a family guy. I've got a few kids. I've got 4 kids and a beautiful wife, and so we try to involve as much as my family in it as possible, and we try to build a brotherhood amongst our team. Because if they'll fight for each other, then they'll fight on Friday nights when somebody else gets in front of them. So that's part about establishing the culture that you desire.
Hey, Coach Rex Cass here from WRBL. CJ, what's it like to have a guy like Coach Jones who's been able to turn programs around, and he brings a ton of energy to this program. So what's it like having him at the helm and leading the Hornets?
It's been really amazing having somebody to come in here and just push us every day and fully believe and stick to the blueprint. That's all you got to do to make it better. Only way to go is up. So as long as we stick to the blueprint, we'll do better.
Question for Coach. You talked a little bit about CJ, but what have you seen from him in the time you've been there? And you talked about you guys don't have many seniors. How important are guys like CJ in laying that foundation that you want at Beauregard?
I think it's vital. Anytime you come into a situation, especially where there's been the previous coach was there, has had a long tenure. Let's be honest, you've run into stuff before where, well, Coach, we did it this way, or Coach, we used to do this and that, and not that it's, in this place, this young man, it's never been said. There's never been that's never come out of any of our seniors' mouths. It's been, yes, sir, boom, let's go. And CJ just has implemented that so well, and I think his buy-in has affected not just the other seniors, but the other young men in the locker room, the 80+, because it's easier for them to kind of fall into that line when you've got the senior that has performed on Friday nights in the past, buying into what we're trying to get done. So CJ's done an amazing job. We look forward to him having a big year for us, getting the ball in his hands and letting him impact us in a positive way.
Yeah, kind of piggybacking off of that, CJ, what's it like for you to hear Coach talk about you in that light, and just what kind of made your buy into the process so much easier?
It's really amazing, man. Having somebody believe in you, stuff like that, it really makes you want to go harder and do it better. You just got to keep going. That's all you got to do. That's all it is to it.
Jonathan Hoppy with WTVM. Coach, when do you know with the team kind of where you're at heading into the season, and when you really can find out what you're working with in your first year?
Well, I think, we did do, I would call it a mini spring. I did get there mid-April, and we got the guys out and had a spring practice. For us, the summer's been huge. We've had some team camps and that sort of deal, just to kind of still figure out, if we're sitting here being honest, it's going to be, it may be into week 1, 2, and 3 before we kind of really figure out who's going to be where. We've got a good nucleus. Like I said, we've got the handful of seniors we've got. The nucleus of our team is 10th and 11th graders, so we'll kind of figure out that niche as we go. We have systems in place. I'm a multi-spread guy. If anybody's done your research, and we're a 3-3 stack on defense. If you followed anything at Prattville, so we have a system in place, and I've seen I've been blessed to see the system work, and for us, it's just I tell these kids all the time, we're going to be good sooner or later. I'd rather be good sooner than be good later. And that's kind of the process we are right now. I can see it. You can see it. You can feel it at different times every day. The excitement, the energy we have every day, the kids have. Man, if you'd have been in that weight room today, if I could show you some video right now of our kids. We tested this week, and just the energy they have, pulling for each other. Which, and let's be real, in the world we live in, I wish I could send this out everywhere. Because when you're in that field house, you're on that field, you're in that locker room, nobody's looking at race. Nobody's looking at where somebody comes from, how big their house is, what kind of religion they come from. It's all about pulling for that football family. And that, to me, that's exciting to watch in the day and time in the world that we live in, that you've got young men like CJ and 84 other young men at Beauregard that are just pulling for each other. It doesn't matter. They're all there trying to pull for each other. And to me, that's exciting to watch, not just for us at Beauregard, but for us as a culture in America. It is fun to watch young men pull for each other, and that's exciting to watch.
Coach, you mentioned on my show several times about walking the halls, asking kids to come out. You hadn't had a full time to do that. I'm sure you're looking forward to this fall.
Well, I'll be honest with you, Mr. DeMark. We can't pull too many more because we're going to run out of uniforms. But we've had a substantial amount of kids that, let's be honest, sometimes need a little tug, need a little boost of encouragement. Because let's be honest, us as men, we all need encouragement anyway. Even as adults, even as a coach, even in media, even in just your daily walk with Christ, anything, we all need encouragement. I think that's just part of who we are as human nature. And young men aren't any different. I know I tell our kids all the time, we're going to coach you hard now, which means when the time comes now, we're going to push you till you can't go no more, and then we're going to expect you to go a little bit more. But we're also going to love you hard. Our kids know, CJ can tell you, they're going to know that they're appreciated. Because what we demand and what we expect out of them, they need to know they're appreciated, and they're going to know that they're loved. They're going to know that Coach Jones and the other coaches love the young men that they're around. And we want our young men to love being in that field house every day, to love being on that practice field. It's not going to be easy, but let's be honest. Anything worth having in life don't come easy. Okay, so we want to strive to push that, but also at the same time build the environment that our kids enjoy each other and they enjoy that football family.
Any other questions? Coach, welcome to East Alabama football, and I just want you to know that one of the ultimate compliments you can get as a new head coach at Beauregard High School is that the community says that you have created a buzz.
Well, we are the Hornets now.
The Hornet Nation, that's important.
So I think for us, we want to create the right atmosphere that makes our community proud. We want to create an atmosphere on Friday. We don't want, our biggest goal, because we all taxpayers in here, right? So we work hard for our money, okay? And when those folks come out on Friday night, I want them to see a product on that field and having an atmosphere. I don't want it to be just a Friday night football game at Beauregard. I want it to be an event. Every Friday night, it's an event. It's an atmosphere that people look forward to. And I want it to be well worth their money when they show up and watch us play. So we want to try to continue to make the folks at Beauregard proud of who we are and to put the right young men on the field and in our community that they're proud of.
Thank you, Beauregard High School. Good luck in the coming season.
Yes, sir.
Let freedom ring all month long at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Declare your independence from your old ride and upgrade to a nicer, newer Ford, Honda, or Nissan. We're giving you up to $3,500 in down payment assistance to get into the new vehicle you want. Interest rates are at historic lows. There's never been a better time to get more for your money. Plus, we've never paid more for your trade. Get a cash offer even if you don't buy from us. We'll pay you $1,000 more than any other written offer. Other dealers may be low on inventory, but at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga, we're stepping on the gas and loading up our lot. Come in today and celebrate the freedom of choice this month only at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Guaranteed credit approval may require money down. See dealer for details.
Let freedom ring.
Hot under the collar because your basement is full of water? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. Ox Foundation Solutions will come up with the right fix for you. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
What's your favorite high school sports memory? A late inning rally? A game-winning shot? A photo finish? Maybe it's a pep rally or a pregame ritual. Maybe it's the euphoria of a late-night bus ride home after a hard-fought win. Maybe it's having pizza with teammates after the game. Now, imagine if it never happened at all. School sports need your help. With budgets getting tighter, it's more than the games that are on the line. It's all the traditions, the community pride, the culture of your hometown high school. Plus, all those memories that are on the line, too. What can you do? It's simple. Buy a ticket when you can. Go to a game. Take the whole family. Let's do everything we can to keep those cherished school sports memories alive.
This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
Uneven floors got you rolling? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong. Get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Men that have made it here today and tomorrow. We have a good lineup starting at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, and we still got plenty to do today. My next school is Springwood School out of Lynette. They have a brand new coach. I've gotten to talk to him on my show, On the Mark, and he's got a lot of background. I'll give you a little history real quick. He was the first SEC quarterback to throw for 3,000 yards. That's kind of unique. But now he is the head coach of Springwood School, Kurt Page. Thank you, Coach.
Good morning. Just like to introduce myself, Kurt Page, Athletics Director, Head Football and Baseball Coach at Springwood School. I'd like to introduce you to the guys I've got up here with me. I got my strength coach right here, Skylar Slagle. He'll also be coaching football, coaching the line. Beside him is one of our linebackers and our H-back, and that's Caden Cook. He's excited about getting to play some new positions, that type of thing. Our wide receiver here on my right is Dylan Reeves. These are all practice jerseys, so they'll be in different jerseys. We got new uniforms. As a new coach, you start up some new trends and new traditions. So Dylan Reeves will be our wide receiver. And then our quarterback, our senior, Cooper Champion. Both these other guys are underclassmen, so we only have 5 seniors at Springwood this season. So we're really trying to build up our underclassmen and get those guys ready to go for the upcoming season. I'd like to thank our head of school, Larry McCown, giving me the opportunity to have the reins for the football program, the athletics program, and also the baseball program at Springwood. We have great facilities there, got great interest in our programs from our parents. They're very excited about everything that we're doing, everything that's going on. And I know this is excitement. Everybody's undefeated right now. So we're looking forward, like all the other coaches in the area, of getting things going. I'd like to have just a appreciation to our community engagement program there at Springwood, led by Claire Bradfield. We're able to get in that golden triangle and reach out to those folks and meet a lot of neat people in the LaGrange area, also in Columbus area, Opelika, this area, and also, of course, in the Valley, there at Lynette and in the Valley of Alabama. So we're excited about what things she brings to us. I'd like to talk a little bit about my coaching staff, because you're only as good as your coaching staff. I've been in it for 30-plus years as a head football coach, a number of different states in the SEC footprint. I've coached the high schools in Texas, Georgia, Alabama, and Tennessee. So just really excited about getting a chance to coach here. But let me tell you about my coaching staff. As I mentioned, I recruited a guy. I got the chance to be a volunteer coach for Coach Tommy Wasden this past spring at Faulkner University and build a relationship with a number of his coaches. And I was able to lasso one to follow me to Lynette, and that's Skylar Slagle. This young man is from Thompson High School, before it was Thompson the Empire. He keeps telling me that. But, he's got good pedigree here in Alabama for high school football, and then was a student assistant coach at Troy. He's wearing that big championship ring. Give a little right there, Coach. Show him. So that holds weight in the weight room with these guys all the time as a strength coach, because that's what you're ultimately striving for, is to earn a ring. And he's done that as a student assistant coach at Troy, and then also at Faulkner University as position coach. And so I was able to recruit him to come in here, and first time ever, Springwood School, to have a strength coach that takes care of all of our sports, men's and women's, all our sports, and he does that each and every day. So he's one of my lead coaches. My most recent hire is Joey Birch. He's a longtime teacher, coach, administrator in the state of Alabama. Thank goodness he's got grandkids right down the road, because we were able to recruit the guy. He's going to come in there and help us coach the running backs and linebackers. I've got a community coach, Bo Colley from Valley. We just have been, we're like brothers from different mother. He thinks like I think about throwing a football, spreading guys out, and he happens to live in the Valley, was a Valley quarterback and defensive back, so it's very neat to get a guy there. He's also going to help me with baseball. A couple of young guys that I've got that are student assistant coaches, what I like to call them. They're both college-age guys. And not only you're always trying to cultivate your young guys to play, you better invest in guys to coach. And that's what I like doing. I like raising coaches and getting them so we're ready to go be a coordinator or head coach at other places. We want to grow our people. And coaching-wise, I've got two of those guys. I've got Alan Britton, and I've got Hunter Plant. Hunter Plant is a graduate of Springwood. He's over at Point, and he's going to be our football operations guy. And then Alan Britton is son of our assistant to head of school, Amy Britton. So just like to introduce our staff, because those are people that really work with the guys day in and day out on the practice field, in the weight room, throughout the day of school. So they're really excited about that. A couple guys that can't be here because of limited seating, but one guy I wanted to be here big time is Tristan Garrett. He's an outstanding lineman. He's our center. He's our go-to guy. He's going to be a big-time player for Springwood School. Thank goodness I get to see him play for 2 more years, so he'll be just a junior. He's gone on vacation this week. And we've got a couple other guys just like to mention. Cameron Sides has had a great summer as an individual, getting himself ready for the season. And then also Sam Plant. Both those guys are undersized guys, but strong. And due to this guy's hard work, they're going to be ready to play a full productive season for Springwood School. With only having 5 seniors, you know, everybody's like, well, you know, it's a rebuilding year. I get a call from Mr. Frank Champion about once a week to remind me of that. But I don't believe in rebuilding. I think I've heard that from 3 other coaches. You're basically trying to get your best product you can put out there each and every Friday night. And that's an injustice if you say you're rebuilding, because you got seniors. This is their last time to play high school football, and they're out there, and everything happens for a reason. So sometimes I've had my best teams when you least expect it, because I really believe your underclassmen, when they're motivated and they're excited, they have a little more time to understand what's going to go on, and they don't have the pressure of being a senior. So only having 5 seniors for us, I think it's going to be an advantage, because our guys, the underclassmen won't be stressed. They love the seniors. They love playing with them. They have fun with them. We've had a great summer. We've been able to do 7-on-7 with a number of times, and so we're getting better each and every day. So those are a couple of linemen I'd like to mention. Some other guys I'd like to mention that really have improved their ball skills this summer, getting in there mid-April. We had a productive spring season in baseball on the men's side and also on our soccer side. So guys played in the Final Four for soccer. So basically I waited and let them finish their seasons, as you should do at a small school, because we need guys that play multiple sports. Like I'm going to be coaching multiple sports. I'm expecting guys to play multiple sports. So it's an exciting time to do that. But Jonathan Johnson has probably made the biggest jump. Put that name down, Jonathan Johnson. He's a defensive back. He's long. He's rangy. He's going to be an outstanding player. He's been our lockdown field corner all summer. This is a guy just learning the game. He's a guy that was kind of not looked at a lot in his past with the past coaching staff, but he stood out to me immediately. The first day he jumped out there, he's going to be a good college prospect. I'll just tell you that. He's long and rangy. He's the type of guy that you want to be a cornerback. Jonathan Johnson was also a hurdler. Will be a hurdler this spring some more, and he's also qualified in the 100, 200 in the state AHSAA track meet. Some other guys just like to mention, some receivers that are really learning and growing, along with Dylan Reeves here as our top receiver candidate. We got Eli Johnson, Chevin Good, Hayden Wolf, When you talk about throwing the football, I guess I get all the guys that come out in school that want to catch and run routes. So we've been able to do that this summer. Very, very exciting to do that. We have a real simple system, and a lot of coaches in those states that I mentioned earlier that I've coached, they use our system after they coach with me for a little bit and they go other places. And so we're really excited about sharing our system with these guys. A couple of running backs, Kevin Wang, looks like it's going to be a really good player for us. And then we have a couple of understudies at quarterback to Cooper. We've got Ben Cooper. He's a rising junior. And then we've got a rising 7th grader, Woody Moon. Yes, 7th grader. We got some young guys in our program. So we're trying to develop all our guys. And being a teacher and a coach, I think that's when you get them. I think I heard that from Coach Lynette earlier, talked about guys, they were ball boys when they were in middle school, junior high. At our place, they're going to be putting uniforms on. So a little different experience, but we're excited about everything at Springwood. Just excited about these guys. Looking forward to getting on the field and playing some teams. So, you know, we open up with a defending state runner-up. We get to host them on August the 20th, so we're looking forward to playing Abbeville and playing those teams like that, at that high caliber team that we'll be playing this season. So we got an outstanding season, and biggest thing I've done for Springwood is just we're going to focus on Springwood. We're going to make sure Springwood is getting better each and every day, and that's what I've asked these guys to do, and I think that's what they've been doing. You know, I have no control over Abbeville, how they're going to prepare, how big and how fast they're going to be, all that stuff. So what I try to do is just get our guys as best they can be. So that's my mission, my goal, and been in a long, long time. That's something I know I can be measured and I can be held accountable for getting our guys ready. And that's what we talked about them, accountability. Each and every day at practice, we try to make sure we're accountable to how hard effort we put together, and we're servant leaders, so we try to play for each other, and we're getting that done, and I'm really excited about it, and just looking forward to answering any questions you guys. It's a great atmosphere. If this doesn't get your juices flowing for Alabama high school football, I don't know what does, but just looking forward to getting everything going, and any questions y'all got, look forward to hearing them. Yes, sir. Good, it's fantastic. Go ahead.
Coach Pace, Jack Patterson with WRBL. So you've coached in many different places, different states across your career. What's been the biggest challenge taking over a program like Springwood?
Great question. I'd say probably the biggest challenge is just getting to know your players. You know, players are players, and just get to know who you have in the room, and taking it from the classroom to the grass and teaching them. And you have to, you may have a system of coaching, but you got to make the adjustments and teach what you have and make sure that you're spot on to what things they can do. It's not about what I did as a player at Vanderbilt or what I've done at other places where we've been state championship contenders and won state championship. So it's about what these guys can do and be successful doing, and that's what we've done. That's what we're trying to do. That's the biggest challenge. I think you got to focus on what they can do and what they can do well, and serve them as their leader. Thanks for that question.
Yeah, this one's for Cooper. You know, you're taking over a second year as your quarterback. Just what kind of steps have you taken to kind of develop your game?
It's a big transformation since last year, you know, to switch it from the wing tee to a more quarterback-friendly offense, throwing the ball a lot more. So this year we've just worked out a lot and participated in a lot more 7-on-7s, just getting game ready.
Question for Coach. You've talked about it before. You know, the big push since you've come on is getting more kids to come out for football. What's sort of been your pitch for these kids, and you know the things that you want as far as for guys that are interested in joining the Springwood program? What you've been telling them?
Well, I appreciate Jordan. Biggest thing is just they've got to trust you. They've got to trust you that you've got the best interests in hand, that you're going to treat them right, and that you're going to love on them, and that you're going to get them out there and put them in a good position for success. And that's the big thing. And as we interviewed and met with other people to take over our baseball program, a lot of the kids just came to me and said, Coach, we trust you, and we want you to be part of that too. So that's my passion is baseball. I love coaching football. There's a lot of parallels, a lot of things I like doing, but that's the biggest thing. The players got to trust you as an individual, that you're going to try to do the best things in the best interest for them. It's not about me. This, you know, the only two things that take the wins and losses away are Springwood and the head coach. They just need to play and have fun. It's a game to them. It's going to continue to be a game for them. It's not life or death, you know. It's not. We're not trying to solve brain surgery. Just trust that I'm going to do the best thing for them. You know, a lot of things I believe in. You know, one thing is not playing or practicing on the weekends. I think they need to have their time along with family. I try to also, I don't believe the Army, Air Force, Navy, or Marines, these guys hear it all the time, they don't do live ammunition. So especially with us having limited numbers, I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to basically, we got pads, we got dummies, we'll work a lot of stuff there. So they got to trust me. I think in the past, a lot of teams probably do too much hitting too often, too soon, especially with guys that aren't traditionally ready. And with COVID, you know, a lot of high school coaches, the college and NFL, they're finding out right now guys aren't ready, a lot of injuries. So you got to really prepare your guys in a mindful set that you understand what's going on. And you've seen that right now in the preseason with the NFL. A lot of big time guys. You know, there's a big time running back, LA Rams. He ruptured an Achilles. So there's a lot of stuff there that, you know, you're not trained the same. You know, in the last 18 months, it's all changed. But they got to trust you. That's the number one thing, is build trust. Yes, sir.
Hey, Coach Page, Rex Castillo with WRBL. One thing that you said in your opening statement that really stood out to me is how you look at your roster. While there aren't a lot of seniors, you're really excited about the youth on your program. What excites you about the younger guys, but even with the senior class coming back?
Great question. Basically, I love teaching. I love developing talent. I love buying into guys and building them up and basically letting them know I believe in them. This is what I see for you, like Caden Cook. I don't know if he saw himself as an H-back, as a linebacker, defensive end type, but that's from day one. I saw that in him. You know, I see a guy there that's a big body that moves, got really nice mittens. He can catch the football. He creates space. It's a good blanket for a quarterback. Cooper, he'll have him over the middle in the flats, running corner routes, getting over the middle. But you got to build a plan for each and every guy, individual plan. And that really ties into our mission statement at Springwood School, body, mind, and spirit. So each guy and each person there has that, has that opportunity to develop those three facets. So that's what I'm excited about the underclassmen, because with Cooper, my saddest thing is I'm only going to get 10 for sure guaranteed high school football games with him. I wish I could have 20 or 30, and I'll get that with Caden, and I'll get that with Dylan. I'll have 30 guaranteed games with him. So that's about developing, and each coach in this room, they know what that's about. When you're developing kids, you want to have time and develop them the right ways and get them ready for the season. So that's what I like about the underclassmen. So that's my most exciting thing, is to develop and be a teacher.
Yeah, this one's for Caden. Moving from offensive and defensive line to more skilled positions. Just what's that kind of transition been like for you?
I feel like I've always felt like I had the potential to play those positions. I just need somebody to work me up to it. But playing H-back, playing linebacker, it's where I feel comfortable at.
Question for Dylan, just what's this offseason been like with Coach Page coming in, and what's the excitement level for you to get at the start of the year?
This offseason's been different from the past with Coach Gartman. Coach Page brings a new level of excitement to Springwood, and with the summer workouts and 7-on-7s, I felt like in the past we didn't really do that as much. And with Coach Page, he's brought a whole lot more opportunities for the team and younger players.
This question's for Cooper. Coach Page brought up the point that, calling this a rebuilding year would kind of be an insult to the seniors on this class, that we would undersell or not expect big things from y'all. Are you ready to blow some expectations out of the water for what people may expect from Springwood this year?
Yes, sir. Nobody really expects us to do anything, so, we just go out there and just prove a lot of people wrong, just have fun.
Any other questions? Coach, I have two comments. First of all, welcome to East Alabama football.
Thank you.
My first comment is that when you were talking about your players, and I think this is very interesting, your strength and conditioning coach smiled at almost every one of them, so I see that he's got a thought about the way they're working, yes, which is a good thing. And the second thing is that you act like you've been here all your life, because new people don't say the Valley.
Well, I've been trained well. My head of school, Lowry McCown, that's on him. He's been training me ever since I've been here, and I'm part of the Valley. I bought a cottage there on Lake Harding. I live near Lake Skillet, so I'm in for the long run. So I really want to get things built up and do a good job, and really want to make this a home. I have my brother. I'm youngest of 6 boys, and we've lost 4 of my brothers. My oldest brother, that's the reason I want to be in Alabama. He lives in Prattville, Alabama, Tony Page. and retired coach and teacher there for Prattville High School for a number of years since they won one of their championships in '84 as defensive coordinator. So he'll be over some when we start practicing. These guys will get to know my brother Tony and that type of thing. So I'm really excited about that.
Well, we thank you for coming today. Good luck in the coming season.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Let freedom ring all month long at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Declare your independence from your old ride and upgrade to a nicer, newer Ford, Honda, or Nissan. We're giving you up to $3,500 in down payment assistance to get into the new vehicle you want. Interest rates are at historic lows. There's never been a better time to get more for your money. Plus, we've never paid more for your trade. Get a cash offer even if you don't buy from us. We'll pay you $1,000 more than any other written offer. Other dealers may be low on inventory, but at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga, we're stepping on the gas and loading up our lot. Come in today and celebrate the freedom of choice this month only at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Guaranteed credit approval may require money down. See dealer for details.
Let freedom ring.
Hot under the collar because your basement is full of water? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. Ox Foundation Solutions will come up with the right fix for you. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
What's your favorite high school sports memory? A late inning rally? A game-winning shot? A photo finish? Maybe it's a pep rally or a pregame ritual. Maybe it's the euphoria of a late-night bus ride home after a hard-fought win. Maybe it's having pizza with teammates after the game. Now, imagine if it never happened at all. School sports need your help. With budgets getting tighter, it's more than the games that are on the line. It's all the traditions, the community pride, the culture of your hometown high school, plus all those memories that are on the line too. What can you do? It's simple. Buy a ticket when you can. Go to a game. Take the whole family. Let's do everything we can to keep those cherished school sports memories alive.
This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
Together we can solve hunger.
Welcome back to the East Alabama Football Media Day, sponsored by the Orthopedic Clinic. I'm Jeff Sasser.
I'm Eddie Owen.
Next on the podium will be Beulah High School, the Bobcats, Coach Matthew Johnson. And last year, I don't know of a team in the state that had a tougher time getting through a season due to COVID protocol.
Yeah, it was a tough beginning part of the year, and then about mid-season they got hit again, and like we were discussing, they went through maybe 3 games that they couldn't play at all, and then their first game was actually against somebody that already played 4 games.
Well, hopefully they can turn it around. Now we'll go to the podium in Beulah High School.
Hey, welcome back, High School Media Days here at the Bottling Plant Event Center in downtown Opelika. We appreciate everyone being here. for our 4th year in a row that we've had this. We certainly appreciate the Orthopedic Clinic for presenting this, and iHeartRadio, Fox Sports The Game, 910, 1310. All right, we've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3 more schools left today. Don't forget, we'll be back tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, bright and early. We'll start with Roddy Beck from the AHSAA, and we'll go all the way till 11:30 when Opelika High coach Eric Speakman takes to the podium. So 2 good days. We've got more to come today. Our next coach has been a coach at Beulah for a while, but this is his first media days. I think we had bus class, and I think we had a little COVID situation last year. So I'm very pleased to get Coach Matthew Johnson to the podium, the head coach of the Beulah Bobcats.
Good to be here. It is my first year here, and it you know, a lot of coaches seem to, this may not be the most favorable thing for them to do, but I'm excited to be here. You know, this is my 3rd year being the head coach, and first time here for various reasons, as D-Mark said, but it is great to be here. Before I get started, I do want to send our thoughts and prayers to the Chambers Rebels Academy, Academy Rebels. They lost a student athlete not too long ago, and I know that's tough for them, tough for Coach Allen, but we are, you know, we're praying for them, and hopefully that you know that smooths things over with them, and they can bounce back from that, because we all, you know, in some sort of time we're going to cross paths, and it's, while some people may not think the AHSAA and the AHSAA are on the same team, we are, and I just want to offer our thoughts and prayers with them. Talking about this year, we have a very challenging schedule ahead of us, region and non-region. You can look at our schedule and see there's no cupcakes, but we got some hardworking kids, and that's the big key that I've been talking to them about, of really adding value to the team, working hard, and being good people. That's the big 3 things I tell them every day after practice. Take care of those things, and then we're gonna go somewhere. And I got some good leaders up here today. To my left, we got Jackson Hancock. Jackson is a junior for us. He's going to be an offensive lineman, our left tackle. We'll also play defensive line. He's got a high motor. He talks a lot, so when you interview him, just be prepared for a solid answer from Jackson. So he comes from a good family, and he just got a high motor. I mean, he's the hardest working lineman we got, and that's why I brought him, and to take up some extra time for some questions. But Jackson's a really good kid, and he's our anchor on the line. To my right, we got T.J. Washington. He's a senior. He's a utility player. So if you're playing baseball, he can play any position. He's a running back, slot receiver, put him at wildcat quarterback, outside linebacker, safety. He returns kicks. He does everything for us. He knows how to play football, knows how to play it the right way, and just a great guy. Ben, it seems like he's been here forever, and that's a good issue to have. But he's our workhorse. If we need a couple yards, it's going to TJ. So he's a great player for us. And then we got Noah Higdon. Noah's our quarterback this year. Our first year starter at quarterback. Played last year a lot. Played a lot of defense for us. Very athletic. Handles himself well under pressure. Can control the ball. Really good leader in the huddle. Comes again from a good family, and just does a great job leading our offense. So these are the guys that I brought today. There's many more I could have brought, but just for the safe, for space, we couldn't do that. But I'm looking forward to this year. We're a young team. We've got about 40 players, which is about average for us. We've got 4 seniors. So that's an extremely young team for us. Our freshmen and sophomore add up to about 30. We're going to rely on some freshmen to play for us this year. They are pretty athletic, and player development is very key for us. It's very crucial. So getting these young guys playing time will help us in the future. And we got about 7 or 8 juniors on our roster. So it's a mixture of different levels, but we're young, but we're excited. We went through a lot last year. That's no secret. And this year, our talk this year has been being able to be resilient and being positive during resilient times. It's one thing to bounce back from something, but it's another thing to bounce back and be positive when you bounce back. Not just take a shot and get back up, but take a shot, get back up, and ready to move on and be positive with it. And so that's kind of been our message this summer of being resilient, being positive, being optimistic, helping one another, working hard, okay? That's our motto, is we're going to work. And adding value. What can we do every day? What can you do every day to improve our team? Whether you're in the weight room spotting someone, whether you're snapping, holding the ball for a kicker, whatever it is, whatever your job is, add value to the team. And just be a good person. Be respectful. Do the right thing in class. Do the right thing when you're walking down the hall. Do the right thing in the weight room. Do the right thing in the meeting room. So if we take care of that stuff, those three things, then we're going to be pretty successful. We start off the year with Opelika, a very athletic team, and it's a kind of an in-county rival, but it's going to be fun August 20th. We have 4 home games, so we don't have a 5-5 schedule due to COVID last year. So we're at a disadvantage of that. But it's, again, it's that resilience of what does it matter? No, not really. It's what we got. So we're going to deal with it and be positive with it. So I'm excited about this year. Our coaches have done a great job. Coach Brandon Carden's our offensive coordinator. He does a really good job with our staff and our players. Coach Stan Pepper, who has been here the past 2 years, is our defensive coordinator. He's been around for a long time, numerous stops at places, but he does a great job with us. Coach Thomas Hill is our quarterbacks coach, secondary coach. Coach Michael Corson is our linebackers and receivers coach. Coach Bobby Felton is our linebackers, running backs coach, and Coach Jeff Lamb is our O-line, D-line coach. And Coach Lamb he had some issues last year with health, and we're so glad to have him back. He's kind of taking a break past couple of years, but he's back with us. So our staff is ready. Our staff is fired up. These guys are working hard, and having play dates, 707s, things like that that we couldn't really do last year has helped us tremendously, especially with us being so young. Our 9th graders who we're relying on, you got to remember this, we didn't have a junior high team last year. So those guys haven't played in 2 years. But we're relying on them heavily, and we're excited, and we're looking forward to a new year and have a sense of normalcy around us. And hopefully, we can start off the year right against Opelika on August 20th. So any questions, we're ready to take them.
How you doing, Coach Johnson? Jack Patterson with WRBL. So you've mentioned that you guys went through a lot last season, but what lessons that you can take away from last season and bring towards this year to kind of serve as motivation or serve as, kind of like a rallying cry? Yeah,
it's just that we tell them all the time that every day's a blessing. You got to take one day at a time and be able to react the appropriate way if something bad does happen. That resilience thing. It's not given. COVID can pop up again this year. There's some schools around the area that are going back to masks, which leads me to believe that there's some problems still around, which we see in the news. But going through what we did, I coached in 5 games last year, 5 out of 10. I was quarantined 7 times. Noah, one game was at 2:30. We were told he couldn't play. So going through what we did just makes it kind of seem like football is important, but there's a lot more stuff that happens in life. You're gonna face the battles, you're gonna face some hardships, but how do you bounce back from them in a positive way? And I think that's kind of what we learned is every day's a blessing, and you got to take it one day at a time.
Hey, Coach. We talked, or you mentioned earlier that you had missed last couple parts of the summer. Just how big has this one been for you, being able to do some 7-on-7s and just go with a full summer with the team? Yeah, it's been tremendous, especially for our younger guys, being able to develop them. We didn't have that opportunity last year. We missed a lot of summer. Well, a lot of schools did. It's not an excuse, it's just a reality of the situation. But it's huge to get these young guys some reps. These older guys, they're doing a great job of teaching and coaching them. And I tell them, they're coaches on the field also, especially when you have, we're 3 deep at O-line, and when Jackson has a rep off, he's coaching the younger guys up. So it's good to have that ability to do that and bouncing back from the summer we had last year of that sense of normalcy and player development has been very crucial to us.
For each of the players, so you guys can just take turns, but sort of going off of that question, how valuable do you feel like this summer has been for where you feel like you are now going into the season?
I feel like this summer it's been better than it was last year because we actually got to practice the whole summer this year and focus and get ready for this season. and I feel like we're gonna do pretty good this year, just based off the summer. The 707s, we did good. Went out, competed. Coach always talking about compete, so that's what we did. We competed out there.
I think this summer was very, very good compared to last year. About a month ahead, probably, where we were last year. Got a whole bunch of skilled guys. They're young, really talented. They can make a lot of good plays for us. The line is very good, blocking good, 7-on-7s. We're holding our own, competing against the bigger schools, beating the bigger schools. Gonna be pretty good.
I think that we've got a big improvement from last year, because last year I think we had roughly around like 22 players on the team in total, and we'd have a lot of quarantines, and there's like 1 or 2 games that we were on the debate of having a forfeit because we wouldn't have enough offensive linemen or just different skilled players. And it's a blessing to have 40 people plus on the team this year to be able to coach, and especially the young ones to carry on the team in the next few years whenever we all leave.
Hey guys, Rex Castillo from WRBL. Again, this is for all the players. I know, again, last season wasn't fair to y'all just because of what you guys had to go through. So how excited are you to get into the 2021 season, and do you guys appreciate the small things like practice and just being around each other this time around?
I think this season is gonna be pretty good. We just gotta work. We gotta stay focused, stay together, be a team, and we're gonna have a good season this year.
I'm very excited to play the whole 10 games. First few games last year got cut short, COVID, couldn't play them. So I'm expecting some big things. I expect us to do some good things, and I feel like we're going to win a good bit.
I'm hoping that this year I don't have to miss 4 games to a quarantine. And we have a lot more players, including more kickers and backup quarterbacks, because last year we were struggling with quarterbacks because of quarantine. We were having to try new people at different positions and stuff. So it looks pretty good this year, especially at the 7-on-7 and 11-on-11s at Auburn last week. It's looking pretty good.
Question for Coach. What were the biggest adjustments made in the off-season to prepare for the 2021 season?
Well, really the adjustments were the positive light of getting more equipment, getting more players, having to change your practice schedule because of who we have. The spring was big for us. We had a lot of people out there, a lot of players. So the adjustments were not that big of a deal because it's kind of that's what you're supposed to have. That's a normal year. The big adjustments were done last year during COVID when you had to make sure you had 2 coordinators going into it per position or per side of the ball. Having multiple guys being able to play multiple positions because you didn't know if someone was getting quarantined or not. So there haven't been that big of adjustments this year because it's playing out like a normal year so far. But just doing the right thing, working hard, like I said, adding value to your team, and being good people. That's the biggest keys, and everything else should take care of itself if you're doing all that. But I'm excited, and like I said, the adjustments are already there.
Coach, I talked to your players before you came up, and each and every one of them said the same thing. You're young, you got a lot of talent, and they're ready to win football games.
Yeah, and that's not an excuse when you hear someone say they're young. I mean, there are a lot of teams that are like that, but it's the player development and the work and the work ethic you see in this team. They come to practice, every day, and there's no doom and gloom. It's exciting. We're productive. We're very efficient, and it's because of these leaders and because of our community that pushes us and has our support, and we're just blessed, to be in this position. I'm very thankful to be able to be here. You guys doing a great job, and we're just excited to hopefully have a normal year and bring back the winning tradition at Beulah.
Coach Johnson, Beulah Bobcats, good luck in the coming season.
Thank you.
Let freedom ring all month long at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Declare your independence from your old ride and upgrade to a nicer, newer Ford, Honda, or Nissan. We're giving you up to $3,500 in down payment assistance to get into the new vehicle you want. Interest rates are at historic lows. There's never been a better time to get more for your money. Plus, we've never paid more for your trade. Get a cash offer even if you don't buy from us. We'll pay you $1,000 more than any other written offer. Other dealers may be low on inventory, but at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga, we're stepping on the gas and loading up our lot. Come in today and celebrate the freedom of choice this month only at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Guaranteed credit approval may require money down. See dealer for details.
Let freedom ring.
Hot under the collar because your basement is full of water? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. Ox Foundation Solutions will come up with the right fix for you. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Uneven floors got you rolling? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong. Get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
School Media Days. Sorry about that, Van. On Fox Sports, The Game, 910, 1310. Thank you guys for getting me on cue over here, the Gators here. Yes, we are coming to you live from the Balling Plant Event Center here in Opelika. We appreciate the Orthopedic Clinic for being our presenting sponsor. We appreciate also our other sponsors, Frederick Dean Funeral Home, Opelika Power Services. They help keep the lights on here in Opelika. Jeff Coat Trent Funeral Home, Bill and Coley do a great job supporting our community. And of course, the event center here, we would not be able to have this beautiful place without the help from those folks. And we thank Coca-Cola Company for having our drinks here today. I think I covered everybody. All right, so we're moving right along on day one. Don't forget, we'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place, with a whole group of another schools. We'll start at 8 o'clock with AHSAA Athletic Director Roddy Beck. But we got two more schools today. I'm going to bring to the microphone. We're going to talk about the Glenwood Gators. Their coach is kind of unique. He has a coaching job just about year-round. He coaches the Columbus Lions, and he's also the head coach of the Glenwood Gators. He's done a great job with both programs. And I bring to the microphone Jason Gibson. Good morning, Coach.
Morning. Hey, I appreciate it. I want to thank everybody for doing this. And this again, I've said this. I think that's our third year coming. I appreciate what everybody does, putting this together for the kids, putting this together. This is what makes football in the South great. This is what makes Alabama great. I love being a part of it and doing what you do and providing these kids with this opportunity and exposure that they deserve is second to none. So I'm just proud to be a part of it. Also want to thank our school, Glenwood. It's an unbelievable place to be. And as we sit up here and I get to praise these four guys, which was hard to decide, but when I sit here and talk about these players, our school has just done a great job preparing them in football and in life. Our administration and our faculty at Glenwood is so hard driven with academics, but also with sports. And when you look at our school, and I'm going to brag on them for a little bit about how they do in every single sport, in baseball and basketball and volleyball and girls soccer and boys soccer. And just be proud to be up here with these guys and continue that tradition with football. We got to get over the hump this year. 2 years in a row, we made it to the dance and came away empty. Last year was a unbelievable ride that just didn't finish the way we wanted it to. But what a great experience. And that has, the team prior to that set the standard. I think we talked about this 2-3 years ago. We were worried about one more yard when we lost at Bessemer. And then we got to the championship game, and then we got to the championship game again. And so now that's kind of becoming the standard with the players that we have. And I'm so proud to be part of it. And it was different last year with COVID because we weren't able to do the things that you do to build and bond teams. We have an annual lock-in with the players where we come in, we take their cell phones, and we lock them in for 24 hours and sleep on cots and just bond and do those things. And COVID kind of took that away a little bit. So you didn't get a chance to kind of form those bonds. And to have the success we had last year was a testament to those kids and those players. And they really set their standard. And with that being said, the standard's pretty high. But when you look at the 4 guys that we have on stage and some of the kids that we've picked up this year and the kids that are in the program to go on our, I think, my sixth season here, as you see them progress through the school, people always ask me, how do you feel about this year? And I can give you the standard coaching speech and say, oh, we're just going to be okay. We're going to be pretty good. And that's a standard to uphold, and that's something they know about, but they've worked for it. I mean, they've worked their butts off since January in the weight room. Probably one of the best off-season weight rooms we've had since I've been there. The total strength. We talked about this. I can't remember the stats. I think we had four guys over 200 pounds on the bench back in January, and then yesterday we maxed out. We got 16 over 200, and we got 4 over 300. And to watch those numbers increase in the weight room and the speed and the agility of our offensive line. I mean, I know we got skilled players, but when you start talking about the O&D line, it's exciting and it's pressure. I don't mind putting the pressure on them; they can handle it. They're big boys, but that's the expectation, and I'm happy to be a part of it. And that's the expectation that our school demands. Glenwood's just has those expectations for every sport. So today I was lucky enough to bring 4 guys. All 4 deserving, obviously, and I'll start with the underclass first. So to my right's obviously A.J. Harris. You guys obviously know who A.J. is. I think everybody in the country knows who A.J. is at this point. D.B. Forrest does pretty much everything. I'm sure we'll get a question about punt returns and kickoff returns at some point, but he special kid. And what I love about A.J. is the fact that with all the accolades he's receiving, these are things that people don't know, and these are things that we talk about, why it's important and why I'm glad he's at Glenwood is of all the accolades he's receiving and all the offers he's getting from every school in the country. When we're in the weight room, he's over in the corner with the 9th grader who's out there benching 95 pounds, and he's got a 5-star prospect in his face cheering him on and patting him on the butt saying, let's go. That's why he is who he is, and so you guys get a chance to talk to him about that. And then to my other left, I have Ron Beauchamp, wide receiver. Ron is a big, physical, emotional, get after it type of guy. And he'll let you know he's there. I'm okay with that sometimes. Sometimes you got to have those guys on the field. But he works hard. Again, none of these guys and all the success they have and they're going to have is just them showing up. They're the first ones there. When we left this morning from workouts at 9:30, I left for an hour and a half to come back to get cleaned up. They were still in the weight room lifting after we had already lifted, and then they went outside on the ball machine. And that's all self-motivation. It's not me out there, riding them, and that's what it takes. And he's out there, and when you see them and Ron out there taking the younger class and the underclassmen, teaching them routes and showing them how to get off, the release on the line, that's leadership. So to the far left is Will Graham. Will's our center, D lineman, does everything for us. He's been in the program the longest with me. I remember him from a 7th grader and maybe I think he is 7th grader to where he is now is just one of our team leaders in the trenches, probably one of the strongest guys on the team, and he's earned every bit of it. Again, the same boat, and he's the guy that's going to walk around and see trash on the floor and pick it up. He's not going to turn around and yell at a freshman to go pick it up. He'll just do it himself, and he leads by example, and I'm so proud of him for that. And then finally, our quarterback on defense, Tariq Maple, plays free safety for us, played it last year. He had a big pick 2 years ago, right, against Tuscaloosa. He had a big pick coming off the bench as a sophomore, had a great junior season. And then this season coming in, Coach Board, our defensive coordinator, Reek's back there making all the calls. We could literally just not even be on the field, and those two guys can make every call on the field, every formation, every check. And they do a great job with it. So make sure I mention my coaching staff before I get off. We got Jesse Boyd back as our defensive coordinator. Defense has been a staple at Glenwood over the years since I've been there, even though I'm an offensive guy. Defense wins championships. We got fortunate enough to pick up Josh McConnell, came back from Lakeside. He used to be our D coordinator at Glenwood, so we were able to add Josh back. Galen Smith from Springwood. We picked up 2 volunteers with my O-line coach, Ray Reed's coming back, and then Joel Benefield, and then Eddie Miranda. So I've got a first-class coaching staff. We're blessed. We're probably 50-ish on the roster this year, which is great for the program. We're looking at about 50 kids on varsity, 40 plus on the JV, and about 25 on the Pee Wee. So when you look at a private school in a 3A and you're sitting with over 100, 110 kids in the program, that's pretty good. So I'm really proud of that. So other than that, I was going to turn over questions from y'all and then anything from the players.
Coach, Jack Patterson from WRBL.
Hey, Jack.
First question, you already know what I'm going to ask. Should they kick the ball to you? And then the second question, more seriously, is what do you say when you have players like this who take such a leadership role to the point where your coaches don't even have to be there and they still lead the team by example?
The kick question, I'm gonna let you ask AJ that one. I can't make comments on other coaches' decisions. I wouldn't kick to him. I'd kick it out of bounds. But it's fostered. It's fostered with our coaches, the way we treat the players. I mean, it's a fine line. I was talking about this morning. It's a fine line between being that authoritative figure where you're riding over them all the time and demanding and demanding and demanding, and I get that, and we've done that. But the class that we have now and these guys that are sitting here have been with us so long, they know exactly what they want or what we want. And so they know they know where the limits are, and they know how to push it. But also, again, when you work as hard as they do, I just can't tell you enough on this stage how hard these guys work. Their success is from hard work. And when they leave, and they can probably ask these, I know AJ works 2 to 3 times a day after he leaves Glenwood. He probably overtrains. And I know Will works out at 6 in the morning somewhere, and then he gets up, then he comes to Glenwood and works out at 8, then he goes home, and they all do it. And they're talking, eating, breathing football 24/7 and working out. So, that's a great feeling. And the thing about it is the young kids get to see that, and it kind of works its way down the system.
Question for AJ, if you can just sort of tell us what this summer has been like. I know that you've been kind of all over the country. What it's been like, sort of handling the recruiting side of things and also getting ready for the upcoming season.
It's definitely been a blessing to go to all my dream schools or the schools that I'm getting recruited by, but you just got to compartmentalize things as far as understanding that it's time for recruitment or it's time to lock in with the team and get ready to go win the state championship. So I just try my best to understand, okay, it's time to focus on recruitment, but right now I'm all in on winning the state championship. So the recruitment is second and winning the state championship is first. So.
Hey guys, this is Rex Castillo from WRBL. For Ron, Tariq, and Will, since you guys are seniors, Coach has been talking about just the insane amount of work you guys are putting outside of practice. What motivates you to put in that much work, to work out, put in another workout even before practice?
It's really just second nature now. We've been doing it since we was little and just growing up, wanted to be a state championship, wanted to go into college with a ring, things of that sort. And it's like, we got younger folks looking up to us at Glenwood. Everybody comes to the game, everybody's there. So it's like we gotta lead by example. And it's really, that's really it.
what motivates us as a team is really our Glenwood program. When you have Pee Wee kids and JV kids just looking up to us to see our next move and what we do to get better. And when they see us working out after hours, that just really pushes them to work harder, and that'll make us good from years on.
Really, I think what motivated most of us start working out after hours is the championship loss. I mean, we got close and then lost it at the end, and I looked at what I could do better, what I could do more of, and working out was just one of the main ones.
Yeah, most definitely. That state championship is a taste in our mouth that we definitely want to get out of. So I just believe that working is how you get back to where you want to be, and it's just a blessing to have teammates that buy into that as well. So the leaders are leading and everybody else is following, and that's just one great feeling to have, just to know that everybody really wants to get back there and this time finish it. So.
Hey guys, Jonathan Hoppy with WTVM. Kind of going off that same note, the championship caliber of this program and trying to get back there, how proud are you guys to be a part of that? And then how much harder do you work to get it done this year?
We're very proud as a unit to be there, but this year we're trying to finish it. And we got to work harder. That's what we got to do. The team that beat us, they worked harder than us and they beat us. Now we got to do the same thing they did and beat them, just like that.
Yes, as a team, we're very proud to go to state, and everyone would be glad to go to state, but it's an expectation now. So we want to win it this year. We've went 2 years in a row, came out not on top, and that really hurt us down, hurt our hearts. So we just plan on getting back and working harder and weight room, field, the classrooms to get back there and get it done this time.
We're all very proud to make it 3 times in a row. We're going back this year, and I don't know, it's just everyone as a collective unit started doing more and more, and I really feel like we'll win it this year.
Yes, state's cool and all, and it's definitely a blessing to go to state, but just going and winning is not enough for this team, man. Especially with the talent that we have this year, that's nothing that we're settling for. The standard has been state, but the standard is to win this year, so it's nonetheless. That's what we're shooting for.
Hey guys, a question for AJ again. If a team for some reason wants to punt to you, what is it that excites you, is exciting for you about kick returning? And you had a lot of success last year about it.
It's definitely fun to have them punt and kick towards me, because I know that the work that I put in is going to show. And every time that you kick it to me, I'm going to make you pay for it. So, I challenge more schools to continue to do that, but every time that they do kick it to me, they'll see.
This question is for all the guys, because you guys both play both ways. So we talk a lot about the offense, but the defense was really good last year. What's it going to take for you guys to kind of continue that expectation? You might score a lot of points on offense, but you're not going to score against you on defense.
Yeah, we did have a pretty good defense last year. I would say we had the best defense in the AHSAA last year. But we plan on going with the same standard, being the best defense again. We got folks that's replacing, and you can't replace folks like our middle linebacker and our outside linebacker, but we got folks that ready to step up and do that.
Yes, reflecting on what Coach Gibson said, defense wins championships, and for us to make it to state, our defense has to be on point. Even when our offense is struggling or we're not clicking as a team, our defense has to come together and just help us be one and, set the momentum some games. Like Coach Boyd says, we have to set the momentum, set the tone, and that just goes out throughout the whole game.
I think the overall mentality on our defense is don't let them score, don't let them get past the 50, And if you can help it, make them punt it to AJ. And keep doing that.
Yeah, like Will said, the mentality that the defense carries is amazing. Coach Boyd always harps on don't let them get anything and make them punt and give it to the offense so we can go score. But it's just the mentality that we have, and we will carry it for years to come. So I just love the mentality that our defense carries.
Thank you guys for coming today. Good luck in the coming season, Coach Gibson and Chambers.
Let freedom ring all month long at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Declare your independence from your old ride and upgrade to a nicer, newer Ford, Honda, or Nissan. We're giving you up to $3,500 in down payment assistance to get into the new vehicle you want. Interest rates are at historic lows. There's never been a better time to get more for your money. Plus, we've never paid more for your trade. Get a cash offer even if you don't buy from us. We'll pay you $1,000 more than any other written offer. Other dealers may be low on inventory, but at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga, we're stepping on the gas and loading up our lot. Come in today and celebrate the freedom of choice this month only at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Guaranteed credit approval may require money down. See dealer for details.
Let freedom ring.
Hot under the collar because your basement is full of water? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. Ox Foundation Solutions will come up with the right fix for you. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Uneven floors got you rolling? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong. Get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
High School Media Days presented by the Orthopedic Clinic. First day was today, and we're about to wrap it up. We do want to remind you we'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place, starting at 8 o'clock in the morning. We'll have AHSAA Director Roddy Beck with us, and I'll go through the lineup real quick for tomorrow. We've got Smith Station that'll be up first, and then we'll have Reeltown, Russell County, Notasulga, the Lochapoka Indians, Benjamin Russell, Southern Prep, Dadeville. We welcome a new team to our media days, the Oak School, and then we'll end it with Opelika High School. So our last school today is just a short drive from here, our Auburn High School, and I'm glad to introduce the first-year coach for Auburn High School, Coach Etheridge. I've known him a long time, since he was his days at Piedmont. Coach Etheridge has won many state titles, 5 or 6, Coach? Five. It'll be 6 soon, I'm sure, but he's won 5. He's a great man. I've certainly enjoyed watching his football teams played at Leeds and at Oxford, and I'm sure I'll look forward to seeing him play at Auburn. But with no further ado, the head coach of the Auburn Tigers, Coach Keith Etheridge.
We're glad to be here, obviously. first year at Auburn High School, came in and everybody has been unbelievable. The leadership in the city, Mayor Ron Andrews, the leadership in the school system, Dr. Kristen Herron, it just has been amazing. Dr. Pignato, the principal at the high school, has been fantastic. We've got a great group of young men and a fantastic coaching staff. We open up with Park Crossing, and we're just ready to get it rolling. Today I brought with me Powell Gordon, defensive end, linebacker, Brad Harper, linebacker, running back, Drew Bobo, offensive lineman, Camden Etheridge, tight end, H-back, and E.J. Harris, offensive lineman, defensive lineman. Turn it over to y'all for any questions. Okay. Okay. All right.
Hey guys, Jonathan Hoppy with WTVM. I guess first, Coach, starting with you. We spoke a few months ago, and you were talking about getting to know all the players and building relationships. How do you think that's gone so far, and what have those initial experiences been like?
It's been amazing. We've got a great group of young men this year. Been able to spend a lot of time together over the summer. They've done a fantastic job of buying into what we're doing, both offensively and defensively. Defensively, they have some familiarity. With Coach Goolsby and the defensive staff, they're still intact. So you're going to see a lot of the same stuff defensively because they were great defensively last year. So you're going to see a lot of the same stuff. Offensively, we've had a couple of changes. Will Wagnum has taken over as offensive coordinator. An amazing coach who's not only a great coach but a great person who will lead that offense. And they're doing things a little bit different. Will worked with me at Oxford. We won the 6A state championship at Oxford, and he does a phenomenal job. And we were able to bring some other guys from that staff onto the staff at Auburn High School. With the help of Dr. Herring and a great job of getting them positions and being able to fill spots that were open at the school level. So these guys have been very inviting, and it's just been a breath of fresh air. They're excited to play, and they're killing it in the weight room and working tremendously hard. And they're not hard to develop relationships with the kind of kids that we have at Auburn High School. They've been very inviting, and like I have a son that will be a senior this year, so. It's been even better. He's coming into a situation that's great for a guy that's coming in. We have a couple of new guys that are coming in, and they're adapting well. And with Drew is one of those guys. EJ's one of those guys. You got Davis Harson, who's Coach Harson's son. So a lot of the Auburn coaches who are on staff at Auburn University have sons who are now at Auburn High School, which has been great for us because it just adds to the roster and adds some great players. Yes, sir.
Coach Etheridge, Rest Castillo with WRBL. First of all, welcome to Auburn.
Thank you.
I know that last season was kind of a crazy ending for Auburn High against Thompson in that championship game. Has that motivated the team, or are you guys just ready to turn the page and start new in this season?
I think both. I think that they're ready to move on past that. What happened in the past, you learn from it, build off of it, and just go move forward. I think it has motivated them, though. I think they want to finish. They've talked about it the entire time. We want to get there. We want to finish. And right now we're going to take it one game at a time. We want to get there. We got to get there first. So we got to take it one game at a time. But when we get there, I think we're going to be prepared to finish.
How you doing, Coach? Jack Patterson with WRBL. You've made this transition from Oxford to Auburn. What's kind of been the biggest challenge, the biggest change for you from coaching in 6A to 7A and the two different cities that you're coaching in?
I think the biggest challenge was actually finding a house in Auburn because, I mean, it's like everybody's moving to Auburn. Everybody wants to be in Auburn, So it was tough finding a house, Luckily, I had some people taking care of me. We got to stay at Coach Dye's place while we were looking around, so it made it very nice. It was an easy transition. As far as going from 6A to 7A, some more bodies, obviously a bigger school, bigger system. But football's football. You put 11 guys out there, 11 guys who are going to play their guts out and leave it all out there for their school, for the name on the front of their jersey. And, our guys are going to do that. I left a great situation. Oxford's a fantastic system, who has great people and great kids, but I truly feel like I came to the best school in the state of Alabama. So I'm so happy to be here, and me and the whole entire staff have gelled. The guys who were here previous have been phenomenal, and the guys that have came on staff since I got the job, also have been great hires for Auburn High School and Auburn City Schools.
Keith, first question for you, and then to Drew and Eston. Communication on offensive line is always so important. How have you seen this group specifically, because you got 3 or 4 transfers, how they've kind of come together, and then for each of you guys, what it's been like kind of getting to know the rest of the offensive line?
All right, I'm gonna say we got about 9 guys who can play on the offensive front. There's a phenomenal group. Like I said the other day, me and some of the coaches were sitting around talking, and I made the comment, I think some of these guys that are playing on our offensive front right now will be playing SEC football next year and playing on Saturday, not just being on a team on Saturday, but playing on Saturday. And, if you got 8 or 9 guys, you're in pretty good shape. I can remember coaching teams where I probably had 0 guys who probably should have been playing up front, about 180-pound guys. So, we're big up front. We're going to be physical up front, on offense and defensive, on the offense and defensive side. The thing is, some of those offensive linemen, guys who are great offensive linemen, we're probably going to transition them over, and they'll play some defense also. So, it's going to be a lot of guys alternating in, playing a lot of plays. But you're going to see those, you're going to see Drew and EJ and those guys, they'll anchor down spots, and they'll stay in those spots. So it's exciting. I've really enjoyed watching how these guys have came together and gelled as a group. Coach Stanford obviously is a guy that came with me from Oxford as an offensive line coach. And, he does a phenomenal job. And, you got Dalton does an unbelievable job coaching the offensive line. So you got 2 guys there who are great offensive line coaches who have really raved about this group of guys and said that both of them have said they're the best they've coached.
With the communication thing, obviously it's important as an offensive line to have communication, because you can have as many good players as you want, and it means nothing if you can't communicate and know what you're going to do. But I think that us coming together this summer and going to practice every day, we've really gelled together as a group and made big strides this summer in communication and getting better together and learning the plays and learning a new offense. And as Coach E said, we have 8 or 9 guys that can play, and we rotate them in every day in practice and learn different groups and sometimes different positions. And it really helps gel together and learn to communicate up front, like calling out fronts and stuff.
Yeah, like Drew said, we've all been communicating and working, and our main goal is the way what we put in our head is to become the best in the state of Alabama. That's our goal, and we have that here. And we got young guys willing to work and working hard with us every day. And me and Drew have been vocal leaders, communicating. That's one of the most important things, and that's been a big goal, to be the best in the state of Alabama, and just continue to work.
So this question's for all the players. I'd love to hear from each of you just how the process has been, getting to know some of the new coaches, some of the new players, and then just general expectations for the season, trying to get back to the championship game.
So getting to know the coaches has been great. You know, like they all really just fit well. They all, you know, bond together really well. And getting to know the new players, you know, they just come right in. We keep going. You know, they don't like hold us back or anything. They gel with us really well, and we just play as a team. And then, our expectations for this year, you know, is of course the state championship. But before that, you know, we got to take it one day at a time. You know. I mean, for the year, our expectation is to win it all, but right now my expectation is to go have a great practice tomorrow and just keep getting better every day.
For me personally, the transition's it couldn't have been smoother. You know, typically if you have a group of guys like us who, I mean, the way the state championship finished, we're all hungry, of course, and you have a lot of new coaches and a lot of new players coming in. They might not understand, but with this group of coaches and players that came in, they can tell they're empathetic for how we felt after last year. So I think it just made us even better, and we're all hungry to get back to the state championship and finish it the right way. And like Powell said, our expectations for the year, of course, are to win a state championship, but each day we had to take it one step at a time, 1-0 every day, and just make sure that we're doing everything we can in practice, working out, conditioning to get to that point again.
I'd say with my transition, it's gone extremely smoothly. I came in on the first day of summer workouts, and it was like I'd already been at Auburn High, and everyone treated me the same as everyone else, it doesn't matter that I was a new player. And then the coaches, it was kind of different because they'd already had a spring practice with the players, but it seems like they've bonded really well and continuously over the summer and accepted new players, and I feel like the team is pretty well gelled. And then the expectations and goals for the season is obviously to win a state championship, but like they said, you have to take it one day at a time, and we're just trying to get better every single day and be the best we can, because everyone can say they want to win a state championship, but you have to do the things that will lead you there.
So I'm kind of in the middle because I'm semi-new. I came in April for spring ball, but I came with him obviously. But it's been smooth for the most part because I knew the coaches that came in, but at the same time I was meeting the ones during spring ball. So now I know them all, and it's been pretty smooth. Everybody was real accepting. And for the year, I feel like if we just get better every time we step on the field, take it one game at a time, we'll be the best team in the state by the end of the year and achieve our ultimate goal of winning the state.
The transition for me has been great. I came in here and the coaches, their big message was we're gonna work no matter what. That was our goal, and we just been working each and every day. And state championship is everybody's goal, but I feel like this team, that's something we can do, and I feel like we're gonna do it because we strive every day 1% to get better. And that's it.
Any other questions? Coach?
Question for Camden, just what's it been like from your perspective, just seeing how this community has welcomed you and your father and your family as you guys are settling in at Auburn?
Like I said, it's been really smooth. Everybody here is also positive, and I haven't heard a single negative word since I've been here from anybody around the community. I mean, of course, transferring schools in the middle of the year is kind of tough, but my teachers worked with me to make sure I got everything right. My schedule was like perfect, almost on point of how I came in, and it was real important because I can't academics come first for me. Of course, I have a 29 on the ACT, so without my academics, I can't play ball. So I had to work on to make sure my school was good in order for me to play sports. But everybody's been so positive and helpful with anything I need in Auburn.
For Coach Etheridge, Rex Castillo with WRBL again. Coach, obviously you have a lot of moving pieces. You're a new face here. You got some new faces to the roster, some kids who are new to the school. But with everyone pretty much locked in, how much of a blessing is that heading into the new season?
A tremendous blessing. You know, these kids have been, you know, close since they got together. You know, when they got here at the beginning of the summer, you know, like Drew said, he came in the first day of summer. Davis came in the first day of summer, I think. EJ was here the first day of summer. So those guys have came in, and all the guys that were here prior, you know, have been so inviting to those guys. And, you know, I can't say enough about not only the school system, but the community of Auburn, how welcoming they have been to everybody. You know, sometimes when kids come in, there's a little animosity there because, of course, there's kids in spots, but that they're competing for a position. But we've sort of took it as, hey, this is competition. You know, we want to put the best 11 on the field, and then, you know, you'll play if you give everything you got. You know, you control two things, your effort and your attitude. If you're great in those two spots, we're going to find a place for you to play on Friday night. So our kids have been amazing, and it's been a great transition.
I got a quick question for Powell. Powell, talk about last year. You went from, you know, not a lot of people knowing who number 20 was at Auburn to knowing pretty quick who you were, and then it transitioned into an offer from Auburn University. Just talk about your recruiting process. It went quick, and your season last year, just in general.
So yeah, during the season, you know, I didn't really get any looks from any schools, so I was really playing with a chip on my shoulder. And so whenever it did come, I was very grateful. But once I knew where I wanted to go, I wasn't wasting any time. I was ready to get back focused on high school football, so I just went ahead and committed.
Coach, welcome to East Alabama football, the hotbed of football in the state of Alabama. Good luck to you and all of your players this year at Auburn High School. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, guys. God bless, and go Tigers.
That's Auburn High Coach Keith Etheridge finishing up first day of media days here at the Event Center bottling plant downtown Opelika. I failed to mention Mayor Anders was in the house. We welcome Auburn Mayor Ron Anders. I failed to mention him at the podium, Jeff. I wanted to make sure people knew.
That's quite all right, Mark. I think that's quite all right. Hey, we got 10 down today. You got 11 tomorrow. 11 schools tomorrow. But you know, we had a couple of championship contenders in this group and a state champion today.
And maybe some sleepers that you know what I mean?
Well, I'm thinking about last year. But yes,
good point. Good
point. I expect to see some Lynette to be right back in the mix.
I expect to see a lot of them.
You know, Glenwood, Auburn High, Chambers Academy. You're going to have the same ones, and then hopefully some of these other teams.
Yeah, let me go over tomorrow's lineup. Tomorrow we'll start it off at 8 o'clock with Roddy Beck from the AHSAA. It's good to hear. Be good to hear Roddy talk. I hadn't had him on.
Roddy. It's been a while since
yes, it has. Coach Beck's a good guy. Then we'll start off with 7A Smith Station. Coach Mike Lisson will be here. The Reeltown Rebels will follow. Reeltown will follow Smith Station. Coach Matt Johnson. He had his team in the championship last time we played right here at Jordan here a couple of years ago.
Yes,
Jeff.
Yes, he did.
So they'll be here. Then we'll have Russell County, brand new coach Dylan Griggs, another new coach to the area, will be here talking about the Warriors. Then we're going to switch it to Notasulga. Anthony Jones, what a super job he's done out at Notasulga, Jeff, with the Blue Devils. I mean, his football team plays right at the right time of the year. From Notasulga, we go to Lochapoka, and Coach Newton will not be here tomorrow. Coach Newton's in quarantine. I hope he gets better and stays well, but Coach will not be here. He'll have one of his assistants representing him here tomorrow at Lochapoka. Hey, they racked up on awards this weekend. They got a sportsmanship award. Coach Edwards got the Making a Difference award, so we're proud of Lochapoka.
Right.
Always. And Benjamin Russell, Coach Aubrey Blackwell, in his first year, coming off a state championship appearance with Montgomery Catholic. Had a 16-0 lead. I don't mean this the wrong way, but lost to a very good Fife football team under Paul Benefield.
A lot of teams lose to Fife.
That's kind of what I meant. But what a great guy Coach Aubrey Blackwell is, and he'll do a good job at Benjamin Russell's got a lot to do there. Southern Prep, first time they'll be here. We know Roland Bell, the head coach, when he was at Notasulga. He's now the head coach at Southern Prep. That's formerly Lyman Ward. Right. We're glad to have him be a part of media days. Then we're going to talk to my good bud, Roger McDonald, Coach Roger McDonald, to everybody else. I've known Coach Rod since he grew up in the Valley. He's now at Dadeville. Did a fabulous job in his first year yesterday. Last year, in his first year. The Oak School, brand new school to our media days. They played 8-man football last year. I'm not 100% sure, Jeff. I believe they still play 8-man football, but they may play. We'll find out tomorrow.
We'll know tomorrow.
Okay, it is 8-man, as Van tells us over there. So Coach Matthew Kelly will be here. And then we'll close it out with the Big E, Eric Speakman, the head coach of the Dogs, right here at Opelika. So, man, it ought to be another good day tomorrow, Jeff. I want to thank the Orthopedic Clinic for being our presenting sponsor, the event center here, the bottling plant, certainly WOTM TV for being here, iHeartRadio, who we work for, Fox Sports The Game. Van did a super job setting everything up, Van. Good job.
One man
show. Of course, Eddie helped us out moving around. And you, big boy, I think we look good in our matching shirts here.
Yeah.
For Media Day. So, all right, that's going to do it for day one. We appreciate everybody. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place for Jeff, Van, and all our crew. I'm D-Mark. See you tomorrow.
Let freedom ring all month long at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Declare your independence from your old ride and upgrade to a nicer, newer Ford, Honda, or Nissan. We're giving you up to $3,500 in down payment assistance to get into the new vehicle you want. Interest rates are at historic lows. There's never been a better time to get more for your money. Plus, we've never paid more for your trade. Get a cash offer even if you don't buy from us. We'll pay you $1,000 more than any other written offer. Other dealers may be low on inventory, but at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga, we're stepping on the gas and loading up our lot. Come in today and celebrate the freedom of choice this month only at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Guaranteed credit approval may require money down. See dealer for details.